and excitement.
Oh, that's a good-looking kick off the boot! You're kidding me!
Across every town and city, sport is the glue of our local community. Listen anywhere, anytime on the SEN app. The latest news articles, podcasts, live sport and more. Download the SEN app today.
Real Adventures with Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Everything fishing, boating and outdoors.
I'm just astonished how many people are still using the wrong burley cages, Pat. You need to get your cages down to the bottom for the whiting. Look at the design of a whiting's face. They're shaped so their mouth turns in underneath their jaw and they feed hard on the bottom. So where are they going to be? They're going to be on the bottom.
Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Subscribe and listen today wherever you get your podcasts.
That Pope gonna ward around. That Pope gonna ward around. That Pope gonna ward around. And that's how your garden grows. Pope Garden Watering Systems, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
You're listening to Big Bash Nation for McDonald's. The McRib and El Maco are back at Macca's this summer.
You are listening to Big Bash Nation, and Chuck, we've been done in by technology. I checked.
Don't blame technology, Johnny, just because you're on debut.
We have been done in by technology.
Thanks to our texters,
Yes.
because they're ahead of us. We're sitting here perched over the top of the MCG. We got a message. Fair enough, Cricket Australia. Stars are batting first. That's not true, John.
It's not true. The Melbourne Renegades will be batting first after winning the bat flip. Apologies to our listeners out there. You can interact with us at any time off that wonderful text machine, 0433 98 11 16. Only positive, because it is sitting right in front of Chuck. Some feedback there already, Chuck.
No, we take the good and the bad, and you're entitled to your opinion. That's exactly what we do. So, good, bad or ugly, jump in. What is it, 0433?
98 11 16.
Beautiful. Send them in.
So it's a beautiful night here at the MCG. Repeating, the Renegades are batting first, Chuck. So we will see Aaron Finch and Sean Marsh at the crease. I want to ask you your thoughts on the rule changes for this year. I know it's been talked about. I've very much enjoyed seeing the new rule changes. I think a lot of people were wondering if they were all going to make sense. I've liked the X Factor, and I've liked the Bash point as well.
Start of the tournament, I was sceptical. Absolutely, I was sceptical. I wrote a column about it to say, is this the big bash or the big crash? And I'm with you. The one I've liked is the bonus point, because it's just tweaked a couple of at the 10 over mark. Some people have mucked it up going forward. Others have ignored it. It's added a bit of, it's added the bonus point, I suppose, to turn. Sydney Sixers have won just about every game. So tick to them. X Factor probably hasn't been used all that much, and some sides have made mistakes with that. So it's added a different level. But the one that's been interesting for me is the power surge.
Yes.
So for our listeners that haven't quite grasped it, most of you would have, now only the first 4 overs is the power play. It used to be 6. It's now 4. And then after the 10th over, the batting team can choose 2 more overs called the power surge, where the fieldsmen have to come back up inside the inner circle, fielding circle, and can only have 2 men out. On a ground like the MCG, it could be a big, big winner, because there's a lot of open space to hit the ball into. So I've liked the power surge in particular.
Do you like it being taken earlier or later? Do you think later in the innings is best when you're really struggling for runs? Try and take them on?
I think it needs to be taken when you've got 2 set batsmen at the wicket. I actually think a lot of sides have left it too late, and it's hurt them at times because they've had non-established batsmen at the wicket or tail enders. Get it? If Maxwell's on 35 and Maddison's on 18, for me that's the perfect time to take it, because 2 set batsmen, field comes up, and you can go 35-40 and pull the game back in your favour. If you leave it to your 6 or 7 down in the last 3 or 4 overs, I don't reckon you do nowhere near as much damage. So my opinion, earlier with set batsmen.
The Melbourne Stars on Friday night adopted a very spin-heavy attack. They bowled Khan early, they bowled Maxwell early, they bowled Zampa early. You expect a Finch and Marsh at the top of the order? They'll do the same thing tonight?
That'll be interesting to see the tactics used. As we said, there's a lot of spin in both sides, isn't there? So how they will play, we're looking at through our binoculars out to the surface. It's a used wicket, Johnny, so there is some footmarks there. Normally the MCG, it's a pretty good batting surface, but it does, from a long way out, look pretty dry. Hence why I think there is spinners in the side, and it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if there's some spin up front.
Absolutely. If you are just joining us, the Melbourne Renegades have won the toss, the bat flip. They are going to bat first. Finch and Marsh to open things up. Sam Harper, Jake Fraser McGurk, Mackenzie Harvey, Bo Webster, Will Sutherland, Imad Wazim, Kane Richardson, who is one of the leading wicket takers all time in Big Bash history. He's going to have a vital role to play. Peter Hatzeglu and Noor Ahmed. I want to ask you about Peter Peter Hatzoglou. Great story. Great story. Playing third 11 cricket at Melbourne University, and then I think he's the secretary at the Sunbury Cricket Club, I believe, as well.
Is that right?
I believe so. So he was paying umpires for Saturday's game. Sorry, he was the treasurer. He was paying umpires for Saturday's game. They didn't even play in, and he was out on the MCG.
Well, that's probably one of the few positives we can find out of the Renegade season, to be honest, is the emergence of this fast, skidding leg spinner, Pete Hatzoglou, and well done to whoever identified him, and more importantly, well done for giving him the opportunity. That's why we're talking about Braden Stepien. We'll get to that. If you pick someone because you think they've got something different, like Hatzoglou, leg spinner, tall, skidding leggy, Stepien, aggressive top order player that can really hurt an attack, put him in. Put him in. You know, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Centre field, Johnny Fogarty stuff.
If you are wondering where these two teams sit on the ladder, the Melbourne Stars fourth, 4 wins and 5 losses. They'll be hoping to even that up. They are fourth on the ladder, and we know that 5 gets you in this year. You have to finish in the top 5. They're on 20 points after claiming a Bash boost point. Just the 2 wins coming for the Melbourne Renegades, the 12th of December against the Perth Scorchers and the 8th of January against the Strikers. They're 2 wins and 7 losses on the season. What's gone wrong for the Renegades since they won that title?
Well, a lot has happened. First of all, Andrew McDonald was the winning coach. He left to be the assistant coach of Australia. Michael Klinger was appointed with no coaching experience. Good mate of mine, Michael Klinger. We worked together in Adelaide. You know, I was coach, he was captain. So you're not going to get a bad word out of me about Klinger as a person, but an untried coach was a big risk that Cricket Victoria took. Sean Graff made the appointment. He had Trevor Bayliss, a highly experienced coach. He had Dean Jones, desperate to do the job. He ignored those people, among others. I can't remember whether Brad Hodge was in for it, to be honest, so I won't say Hodge. But there were some experienced blokes there. And as I said, they decided to go with an untried coach. And it's just been poor. First year, I think we all gave Maxi Klinger a little bit of, slack, if you like, because he basically inherited a list, came in at the last minute, and they had a horror last year and finished bottom. They then reappointed him for either an extra year or he might even have a 2-year contract, I'm not sure, and then gave him the ability to get involved in the list management. So this year there is no excuse, and 2 wins out of 10 matches is unacceptable. That's the coaching side of it. From a playing point of view, Daniel Christian let go to the Sydney Sixers. I don't know the story, but you wouldn't be letting him go. Jack Wildermuth, gone. Cameron White, a few years earlier than that, in fairness, you know, we're going back probably 4 or 5, let go to Adelaide. They've turned over some really good players. They added Sean Marsh to their list, who's a fine player, but he's probably on the back end of his career. And then my criticism of them is with their kids. They should know, I'm telling you, Fraser McGurk's a star. Mackenzie Harvey, reasonably good. Will Sutherland should be playing. When they pick their kids, I'd like them to stick with them. They rotated Zach Evans, Mitch Perry, Will Sutherland. They sort of gave them 1 or 2 games out. That doesn't create the environment of, we believe that you're in our best team. So it's been a bit of a rolling door through that. And I understand it, because when you're losing games, you're looking for the formula. Oh, we're going to try something different. But again, maybe that's sort of an inexperienced coaching team to say, hey, this is our best 11, and we're going to stick with that for 4 or 5. Then if we're no good, I just thought they chopped and changed too much in the early part of this tournament.
Absolutely, and they lost a little bit of experience in Mohammed Nabi, who's gone to play for the Afghanistan, and we know Rashid Khan's gone as well. They've got a one-day series against Ireland in the UAE at the moment, so there's 149 runs, and we know that his standing in the game. They would desperately love to have him in the middle order again.
Their overseas players last year were a failure. Poor, Harry Gurney bought the Gurney and got cleaned up. And then this year, Ahmed Imad Wazim is I've had a bit to do with him in the Pakistan Super. Good cricketer, hasn't fired a shot, in my opinion. Noor Ahmed, well, he's 12, so, 12 years of age. It's a bit tough to go into the big bash as an overseas player. Mohammed Nabi was a big loss. And who's our other one we got on here? Was that it tonight? No,
that's it for tonight. Imad Wazim, Noor Ahmed, I think that's it for tonight.
So their overseas players haven't been good. And to be honest, I think they need to have a look at getting a quality overseas fast bowler from somewhere, or a quality spinner. Rashid Khan's are hard to come by. They've gone with bits and pieces players for me. So we've just spoken for 5 minutes. They've made a lot of mistakes, the Renegades. In short, you said what's gone wrong? Lots of things.
Lots of things,
sadly.
Absolutely. Quick word before we get started tonight. The Melbourne Stars are just waiting at the edge of the MCG. Australia taking on India at the Gabba. Day 3 today. It looked like Australia was in a commanding position. They had them 6 down, and then Washington Sundar and Thakur held their bats pretty well on debut. 33-run lead when we bowled them out, all out for 336, and Australia none for 20 overnight.
Yeah, the game can change quick, but there's apparently bad weather forecast for day 4 and 5 as well. The sad part about that is that means that India will regain, if the game is a no result, India regain the trophy. And full credit to India, because there's been, I reckon, 4 or 5 times in this series where they have been on their knees, on the canvas, down for the count, and somehow they've found their way to get off the canvas and fight again. They did it again today, as you said. Debutants down the bottom, old William Thacker from Notting Hill. What's his name? Shardul Thacker, isn't it? He batted beautifully. He took the game on. So, and what we saw here in Melbourne, just their fight. After being bowled out for 36 in the first test, we thought this was going to be a walk in the park.
No Virat Kohli after that.
Oh, full credit to India. Can the Aussies get it done? It's going to be tough from here with a lead of 50 overnight, is it?
51, I think.
51. Conjecture over Warner's groin again tonight. He'll come out. He's got to play the way he does aggressively to get the game moving tomorrow. We're going to have to bat tomorrow, try and bowl them out on day 5 with weather around. Tough ask.
Very tough ask. I think the moral of the story is don't count out this India side, regardless of who's in the team. They've had great injuries galore all through this, and they've stood up.
I'm pleased to see. Sorry to move off the test, but I'm excited about this, Johnny.
Absolutely.
Both teams coming out, and you know what I like? Marsh and Finch. Put them out there. They're your 2 guns. Get them out of the holster. Boom, boom, and send the 2 big boys out and see if they can do some damage.
You're listening to Big Bash Nation. John Donohoe and our expert for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with their app is Chuck Berry. Glenn Maxwell going to take the ball from the punt road end.
Yeah. Yes, so pace off the ball first up. Gotchi's persisting with his short sleeves, which is just continuing to annoy all wicket keepers, but in particular me.
Do you think he knows that you're not thrilled by that?
He knows well and truly. I've spoken to him in this box about it, and he just laughed and he said, "Hey Chuck, you know, come on, mate, we've got to get on it. It's a bad look, Seb. It's a bad
Certainly
look."
is. Not far away from play commencing. Aaron Finch is going to take the first ball. It's going to be bowled by his former roommate and, I guess, best friend, Glenn Maxwell.
They are. Just a bit on the Renegades there. Gleeson, Rousseau.
Riley Russo was the other.
Yeah, Riley Russo, he's been injured obviously.
Yeah.
So just a couple of other names. Our text messages coming through. So what do we got here? Maxwell's bowling to the right-handed Finch. He's got a very strong offside field, but his 2 men out are what we call cow corner out there at deep mid-wicket, and then the Spice Man's out there at deep backward square. So 4 on the leg side, 5 on the off. Maxwell around the wicket. Johnny to bowl to Finch. Good luck, son, on debut. Just like Shardul Thacker did today. Get him belted.
The fireworks are up, and it's time for the first ball to be bowled. They're just
taking a knee.
Taking a knee here as well.
We don't have to be silent. We can talk through this. It's not a minute's silence, just a respectful taking a knee. And one of our texters saying that the Chuck Berry drinking game is on with minimum chips. I always say if the team goes under par, minimum chips they've got on the board.
They've shown great respect through the tournament.
Assisted
to this.
It's been good.
Absolutely. So
for those drinking on at home on minimum chips, we'll just get an early one in. Renegades need more than minimum chips. There's a couple of little, just do it responsibly, just a little sip on a Sunday night at the G.
Here we go. Glenn Maxwell around the wicket. Aaron Finch facing up the first ball, and it's full, and it's just edged down to short third man for no run.
That just run across, Maxwell, run across Finch, sorry. Not a lot of spin, no slip in play, so fairly defensive.
Maxwell around the wicket once more. Aaron Finch facing up. He gives himself some room. Bowled him! Oh. Second ball, he gave himself too much room, and he just skidded one through. And Maxwell has the last laugh. Finch, we've seen that walk before. He's gone for a second ball duck.
Johnny, I see it, but I don't believe it. Second ball, Aaron Finch tried to launch that into the railway station at Jolimont. That's not a man in good
No.
good mental space. I mean, that is a slog. That is a country slog. It just was across the line. Whack. Maxwell couldn't believe his luck. You lit up, the Bales lit up, and the Renegades, you said what's gone wrong. They're 1 for none. It started again.
Yeah, that's not an ideal start for them. If they were going to post a big total and get ahead in the game, he was the man that probably needed to get a big start. Aaron Finch gone. Wow. Second ball, Glenn Maxwell bowled him. So Sam Harper now at the crease. You're a big fan of Sam Harper.
Well, I've always been a fan of his keeping. His batting's dangerous and he's cheeky and he's aggressive. He hasn't delivered enough runs. Big responsibility now. He's in third ball.
Maxwell around the wicket to Harper. He just gets one on his pads. He pushes it out to mid-wicket and they get their first runs on the board.
Oh, I'm just still in shock. I am in shock with that swipe from Aaron Finch. Again, I'm his biggest fan and I love Finchy, the boy from... He's the Australian captain. That was Wonthaggi sort of third slog.
He does like to give himself some room and access the offside, but he just gave himself way too much. Renegades 1 for 1 early, and Glenn Maxwell has been a wicket taker for them in recent times.
He certainly has. Now he's got the left-handed Marsh on strike, who doesn't like starting against spin. I'd have a slip in, to be honest here.
Coming over the wicket to Marsh now. Full ball. He just pushes that one to backward of point, and they come through for another single there. So Shaun Marsh is going to have to anchor this innings now, not to say that Sam Harper can't hit a long ball, but he's going to have to be the linchpin.
Get the super sub, get the X Factor, get Braden Stepien in, mate. I've made the decision now after 4 balls that Stepien's coming in for me.
Maxwell into Harper again. He uses his feet, lofts that one up and over. That's 4.
Good boy.
That's the aggression you want to see. Down to long off. And a nice start there from Sam Harper.
That was a better shot than Maxwell's. Why? Harper used his feet, didn't try and slog it, and he just hit it back over. There's only 2 men out. They're both on the leg side. So Harper advanced and hit him back over mid-off. A well-controlled, calculated shot. Good boy, Sam Harper.
First boundary of the night. Here's Glenn Maxwell again. Around the wicket. Uses his feet again. Lofted out to mid-on, but no risk in it. And they come through for a single. 1 for 7. Sam Harper moves to 6. Shaun Marsh just on the 1.
IMAR. We all know they're the tradies mates when it comes to business insurance. But did you know that IMAR has window cleaners covered too? Insure your window cleaning business with IMAR and receive commercial and industrial cover for 2-storey, 5-storey and no height restrictions. Plus, receive competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost. Just a simple phone call will get you covered too. Call 13-IMAR now. That's 134627.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
Melbourne Renegades 1 for 7. Aaron Finch was the wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. Big Billy Stanlake, he wouldn't look out of place in the winter competition on this ground. He'd fairly...
tap ruckman.
Yeah, fairly good tap ruckman. Our team doesn't need one of them at the moment, Chuck. There's the reference that everyone was looking for. You're a big Saints man.
Oh, I am a very big Saints fan. Yeah, I don't think we need him. I think we're going all right. Rowan Marshall and Paddy Ryder and a few others down there.
Here's Stanlake over the wicket now to length, and he just defends that one, but is able to get through for a single out to mid-wicket.
Good cricket by Harper. Just got inside the line of the ball, dropped it on the leg side, quick off the mark. And that's good batting in between the 4s, take the singles as well. So the Stars have gone Maxwell over 1, just the no pace on, fast off spinners, and Big Billy's coming from the members end at the G to try and steam it up with a slip in place.
Does have a slip in place.
2 men out, only allowed 2 out, deep point and deep square leg. So there's a slip gully and a backward point looking for that outside edge of Shaun Marsh's bat.
Stanlake over the wicket now to Marsh, bowls outside the off stump, cut strongly. It's a very nice shot, but it's only going to get 1. Gets it out to that cover region. They'll get back for 2 in the end. So there was enough time for them to come through. 1 for 10. Shaun Marsh, 3. Sam Harper for 7.
Such a beautiful timer of the ball, Shaun Marsh. When he's in good form, times it beautifully. And what I liked about that shot, he got his feet moving. Criticism of Shaun Marsh, who's been a wonderful player over the years. He gets stuck on the crease a little bit, and that's when he gets in trouble. One shot, and they've taken the slip out.
Here's Stanlake again. Short. Oh, he hooks well. He's going to hit it straight to the Spice Man out at mid-wicket, though. Come through for a single. Renegades 1 for 11. Sean Marsh 4. Sam Harper on 7.
Stanlake into the wicket looking for a bit of bounce out of the MCG surface, and Marsh navigated that easily, got inside it and pulled it out to the Spice Man out of deep square leg. So just repeating now, Harper on strike. Slightly different tactic here. The square leg's gone to a fine leg and the Spice Man stays out at the deep point boundary. They're the 2 out. 5 in the offside, 4 in the leg.
Stanlake in again over the wicket. Full hit him on the pads, but it was going down leg. Couldn't get any bat on that one. It's pushed out into the covers. No run.
At least Stanlake's been a little underwhelming, I think, again in the green. Again, for the Adelaide Strikers, he was a bit of a revelation, wasn't he? And they recruited him over here, and he hasn't really set the world on fire, has he?
No, well, they swapped Dan Worrell for him, who is
correct.
A very good bowler for the Adelaide Strikers, and nearly got a couple of maidens in the tournament.
Big swinger of the ball, big Billy, tall, bouncy into the wicket type.
Stanlake over the wicket. Oh, and ramping is Harper. That's a beautiful shot. Nearly got all of it. 1 bounce for 4. That's hard to do to a bloke who's bowling genuine pace. And that's another 4 for Sam Harper. The Renegades moving along now to 1 for 15.
That is brave and really well executed. As you said, a tall man, 6'10", bumping the ball in. Harper's gone across his stump, showed all 3 stumps to Billy. Big Billy couldn't execute the fast Yorker, and it allowed Harper to get underneath it. And a beautiful ramp shot.
Did he get all of it? He got all of that. So he did get it for 6. It looked from our angle that it was a 4, a 1 bounce 4, but he's gone over the fence. That is a glorious shot.
Used the pace of the ball beautifully there.
Here's Stanlake again to Harper. Cutting, just French cutting though. Down to fine leg. Gotch does the work. And they come through for a single. So a nice start here from Sam Harper. The Renegades are 1 for 17 and Harper moves to 14.
The major moments in sport.
AFL Grand Final, we played at the Gabba.
Individual brilliance.
Martin's got it. He scored. He shoots. It's the stuff of legend.
Inspiration.
State of Origin series is won by Queensland.
Across every town and city, sport is the glue of our local community. Listen anywhere, anytime on the SEN app. The latest news articles, podcasts, live sport and more. Download the SEN app today.
Zahir Khan into the attack from the punt road end. So Glenn Maxwell hard on himself, takes himself out of the attack.
Now, I just wonder whether, if Marsh was on strike, the left-hander, whether Maxwell might have had another shot. But they're gone for the left-arm spinner, the leg spin. Someone to go at me before because I referred to them maybe politically not correct, but growing up I always knew it as the Chinaman, the left-arm Chinaman, but if that's politically incorrect these days, I'll just call it the left-arm leg spinner.
Here he is now bowling to Harper. Full, just pushed back down the pitch to him. No run. Nice start there. He bowled a couple of nice wrong-uns the other night to the Adelaide Strikers.
Yep, well, we've seen him in the Big Bash before with the Brisbane Heat, so now on the Stars roster. Also got Adam Zampa, who's a premier performer. I think he's 3rd on the wicket takers this year, so big spin flavour for the green team tonight.
That one looked like the traditional leg spinner. Driving beautifully through the covers was Sam Harper. It was full in length, and he got a hold of it. It's not going to go all the way. Doing the work there was Maxwell. That was a really good chase, and they come back for 3. He just dragged it in just before it got to the boundary. Very nice chase out there.
Yeah, fantastic, Glenn Maxwell, just showing the commitment. Could have easily just given up on that, but he went flat out, flicked it back, Cartwright went with him. So to anyone listening, big boundaries always have 2 men to the boundary, Johnny. Always. For that reason, Maxwell had to dive over the boundary rope and flick it back. If there was no one with him, they would have run 4. So it's a little thing in the Big Bash. Always 2 to the fence. Always go in a partner.
Khan into Marsh now. Just on the back foot, having to push that one out to mid-wicket. They might come back for 2. No, they just get the single there. Sean Marsh moves to 5. Sam Harper on 17, and the Renegades 1 for 22.
Dimensions of the MCG for our listeners, very different to a lot of Big Bash grounds, like the Gabba short, small grounds, Adelaide. This is big, all right? And whenever we came here, we always tried to out-2 the opposition. Out-2, not outdo. More 2s here than anywhere.
Khan again. Defending there is Harper. Showing a bit of respect to the bowling, which is good.
Do you know what I'm saying there, Johnny? Like in Adelaide, if you hit it, it's either 1 or 4.
Yep.
There's not many 2s in Adelaide. It's 1 or 4.
You can get a lot of 3s on this ground as well.
You hit it through the gap. 2s and 3s were always a little key performance indicator. on my stat sheet anyway, when we played at the MCG.
Khan again. Harper using his feet and just defending out to cover. Tried to take a single there, but they sent each other back. Sean Marsh was off.
Almost a bit of confusion. What I like about Sammy Harper is he's want to use his feet against the spinners. He's looking to get down.
Khan again to complete his over. Using his feet once more, driving down to long off. Take a single. Renegades, 1 for 23 after 3 overs.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Well, we got the answer to the question we were asking, why the members end now.
So this is the third over a spin in the power play. Extraordinary stuff.
Bowling around the wicket to Harper, who uses his feet again and just nudges that one out to mid-wicket. They take a single. So I like the intent here from Sam Harper.
Very good user of his feet. That's what I was sort of saying at the end of that last over. It doesn't matter. Rashid Khan's the Adelaide Strikers. Not many people use their feet against him. Sam Harper did. So any youngsters listening in to us tonight, have a look at the way Sam Harper, or if you're watching at home, you've got Big Bash Nation on, which we hope you have. He uses his feet very, very well.
Certainly does. 1 for 24, the score, after the early loss of Aaron Finch. It's Maxwell again as Sean Marsh accessing the leg side. Just take the single out to the Spice Man at deep mid-wicket.
Watch out for the Spice. He's ready to fire tonight, isn't he?
Good.
One of our texters in Lee, he's all over me. He knows I've been on the Spice Man's back.
Well, he did a great job on Friday night. 89 not out, batted the innings.
Let's see him back it up tonight, Johnny, a bit later. What will they chase? That's the question.
Round the wicket now to Harper, Glenn Maxwell. Harper using his feet again, lofting. They'll only get a single out of that. Hit it too well down to that cow corner position we were talking about before.
Well, he was looking for a big piece of that.
He
was looking
inside
for
edge.
members stand. Came charging at Maxwell.
He certainly did.
Sean Marsh on strike now, the lefty. 5 in the offside ring, patrolling, mid-off back.
Over the wicket now to Marsh. Short. He just hooks, and that could hit the boundary. It's in the gap. It is 4. Ball was too short. Sean Marsh feasted on that, and he gets his first boundary of the night.
He feasted on it, Johnny, because it was a pie from Glenn Maxwell. It was one of those Adelaide pie carts late at night with the peas on top. He just served it up, and Sean Marsh licked his lips. He said, Maxie, if you're giving me that, you're dispatched.
Maxwell in again. Fuller in length this time. On the back foot was Sean Marsh. Misfield at cover. It didn't cost them a run.
I could have snuck through there, to be honest. Tell you another thing, little thing here. I don't like Billy Stanlake fielding at backward point to the left-handed Marsh, because that's where the ball probably will go. And he's got Big Billy there.
Marsh up again on the back foot, driving. Gets it down the ground. They're going to come back for 2. They did. Got it down to long off, and Nick Maddinson had to run around to get his hands on the ball. They come back for 2, and the Renegades 1 for 32 after 4 overs.
Hi, it's Doug the tradie. If you're a tradie like me, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer competitive premiums, instant cover and no paperwork. Go online, get an instant quote and pay the premium, or call an expert now on 13IMAR. You'll be covered in a few simple steps and ready to get on with the job. Visit imar.com.au today or call 13IMAR and get a quote, get covered, get working.
You're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
Renegades 1 for 32 from 4 overs. Sam Harper 20, Sean Marsh on 12. The early loss of wicket was Aaron Finch, a second ball duck.
It was a shocker from Finchy, big slog across the line, knocked his stumps over. Harper's come in and been busy. It's great to see. You know, we're discussing Braden Stepien taking his spot in the team. This is what Harper needs to do for his team. But he's got to 20 and he's got there really smartly. I'd love Sam Harper to post a big one tonight. I'm talking an 80 you know, an 85 not out and put his team in a strong position. He's done this a fair bit, got to 20, 25. Keep your composure, young man. Knock it around for a while. It's been a good innings.
Another over of spin. Adam Zampa into the attack now. Bowls to Harper. Full. Driving was Harper. They might come back and get two here. The Spice Man was tearing in. And a misfield. He ran too quick. Ran straight past the ball and they come back for a second. He steamed in off the mid-wicket boundary. He would have kept it to one if he didn't run past it.
If we're in the studio, I would have had one of our producers just tee up a bit of James Rain. Your motor's running way too fast, Spice Man. You're right. He runs straight past the ball. He thought, hang on, I'm supposed to pick that thing up.
Zampa in again to Harper. Using his feet. Theme of the night. They might come back and get two. They'll get two this time. No, Sean Marsh sent him back. He hit it down to long off and Maxwell seemed to have to do a bit of work to get the ball. It just didn't come back.
Johnny, of having a young man with an old man. It's sort of like you and I.
Sean Marsh, 36 years old.
I'm the old one.
Sam Harper, I think 24.
That's what it's like. Harper wanted two. Marsh's legs weren't coming back. No. That's like you and I commentating. You know, you're fast paced and I'm just asleep. So,
Melbourne Renegades 1 for 35. Sam Harper 23. Mitch Marsh, I was going to say. Sean Marsh 12. Mitch Marsh out through injury at the moment.
Well, that's an interesting one for the Scorchers. We might talk about that later.
Adam Zampa coming in again, coming off career best figures. 5 for 17 against the Strikers. Bowling to Marsh, who drives hard into the covers, but no run there.
Nice dot ball. Plenty of gaps. And again, we're sitting perched above the wicket. There's so much space, so much real estate out here at the MCG. Knock it into the hole, run two.
In again. Around the wicket. Over the wicket. Cutting. Couldn't get all of that. Seb Gotch let out a bit of a yelp.
Must have been the short sleeves that did him there.
You know better than anyone, Chuck, when you've got a bat coming across your eye line.
Yep.
Hardest thing to do to see that ball.
Yeah, well, you know what you don't do is you don't watch the bat. You've got to just forget the bat and just focus on the ball. And unfortunately, Gotchi couldn't take that one cleanly.
Zampa in again. Rongan driving was Marsh. And again, no run. Good over here from Adam Zampa.
Is that 3 dots in a row?
3 dots in a row.
This is an important ball here. The last ball of Zampa's first over. Sean Marsh needs to keep his composure and not try and slog him out of the ground here.
See what he's got. Bowls again. On the pads, he just flicked that one down to mid-wicket. They come through for 1. 4 off the over. Good start by Adam Zampa. The Melbourne Renegades 1 for 36.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro. And that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Derby at the beautiful MCG, about 18 degrees, Chuck, and there's a nice crowd forming here at the moment.
Yeah, there is. Right across there, sort of spread out as they would be in COVID situations here, but nice smattering. I'm saying that I reckon we're above 10. We might be pushing the... Did you say 15
15 was allowed in tonight, I believe.
Oh, I won't be surprised. A beautiful night. Why wouldn't you come down tonight to the G with your family and watch the two Melbourne teams?
Absolutely. Another over of spin now. Zahi Khan's been swung around, so Maxwell...
Spin to win the Stars.
It's bowling to Sean Marsh. Comes in, that's a wrong one. And Marsh lofted that! Down the ground! 6! Hit the sight screen on the full. That is a beautiful shot. And the first 6 of the night. Second 6 of the night.
Harper got the ramp.
The Harper ramp. Beautiful shot by Sean Marsh.
That was a great shot, mate. Good call, Johnny. He used his feet, smacked it straight back over the bowler's head. That's the safest spot in cricket, over the bowler's head.
Comes in again now. Bowls another wrong one. Just pushing Sean Marsh back, running up the wicket. Sent back by Sam Harper.
Thought he was going to fall over there. Turning circle with the Queen Mary there, Sean Marsh.
It's a dangerous game for a 36-year-old who's had a lot of injuries to be sent back by a young bloke.
It is.
Melbourne Renegades 1 for 42 after the early loss of Aaron Finch. Second ball, bowled by Glenn Maxwell.
5 on the boundary on.
Bowls another wrong one, 3 in a row. Full in length, flicking down to the long off boundary. Glenn Maxwell coming around to do the fielding, throws it in. And they'll take a single there, 1 for 43. Sean Marsh to 20, and Sam Harper 23. So they've consolidated a little bit more here, Chuck.
Yeah, they have. It's been a nice little rebuild, if you like. Just a little technical thing here, or tactical thing. Stars know these conditions well. The deep boundaries, they're 10 off the boundary rope because they're conscious of not giving the 2 away.
Khan in again, another wrong one. And Harper just pushing that one down to long on.
Some sides come here, they shouldn't do because they should know, but I've watched sides play here in the Big Bash and they say go out to deep mid-wicket, so the bloke goes to the boundary line. It's about 897 metres to the, and they're always going to run 2. The Stars know, and they're 10 off the boundary rope here.
Here he is again. Khan, that was short and pulled by Sean Marsh. Didn't get all of it, so he hit it down to Glenn Maxwell, fielding on the fence at long on. And they come through for another single, 1 for 45. Sean Marsh to 21 and Sam Harper to 24.
Such a strong arm, Glenn Maxwell. He's picked that up down in front of us at long on and hurled it back to Gotch. It's probably a 90-metre throw.
Khan to finish his over now on the pads. Using his feet again was Sam Harper, which he's done all night. He hits that one out to mid-wicket. 1 ball to go in the over. No, that's the end of the 6th over. And the Melbourne Renegades 1 for 46.
If you love racing, you'll love SEN Track. Start your day with us, Ian Healy and Pat Welsh, and catch up on all the latest in chasing, pacing and racing. Join us on SEN Track Ingham 96.1 FM, Atherton 99.1 FM, and the all-new Gold Coast 1620 AM, and Brisbane 1053 AM.
It's the new sound of chasing, pacing and racing.
Join in all the fun on SEN Track.
SEN Track.
Also available on the SEN app.
Welcome back to the MCG. It's the Melbourne Derby, the Renegades and the Stars. John Donohoe on the call with the great Chuck Berry. What have you made of the start so far?
Apart from Finchie's horrible swipe, the second ball, really good by Marsh and Harper. Been really impressed with Sam Harper's footwork to the spin. We've had 5 overs a spin, or 6 overs a spin, I think we've had now. 5 overs, 6 overs complete. They're going to go just shock because Hatcher's coming into the attack.
Yes.
But the way that Harper's used his feet, in particular, coming down the pitch, nullifying the spin in the surface, fall on the half volley, this has been a real good start by Harper.
Liam Hatcher into the attack from the punt road end, bowling to Sam Harper. Good start, short of a length, just pushing him back, forced to defend straight back down the wicket.
Loving the commentary, lads. Jono and his crazy uncle Chuck Berry behind the mic. Cheers from Ed in Broome. What a beautiful... I got engaged in Broome.
Did you really?
Ed, so got some fond memories there. My wife probably wouldn't have those same fond memories, but the old Cable Beach Club, and that was where I decided, Johnny, it was time to finish.
You'd be a true romantic, Chuck.
I'd say finish it. Just start it, really, wasn't it?
Hatcher in again, bowling to Sam Harper. Oh, he tries to ramp that one, but
did he nick that or not?
I think he might have.
Let's see the umpire.
They've run through for a single because
No
buys. Seb Gotch dived to his right, sort of way outside the off stump, and Sam Harper trying to ramp it, and they came through for a single because it did come off Seb Gotch's glove.
Yeah, it was really wide, but because Harper had gone so far across, the umpire didn't call the wide, and again, those short sleeves, they're costing Gotch, aren't they? Oh, I'm going to be relentless on him on these short sleeves.
Hatcher in again. Bowling over the wicket. Full ball, flicked down to mid-wicket. Marcus Stoinis doing the fielding. Looking forward to seeing him tonight. They come through for a single. What have you made of Liam Hatcher? He's new to the Stars this year. Got a bit of pace behind him, young, coming through.
I liked his pace in a few games, and he hasn't been afraid. He sort of puts his chest out and takes them on. I think he's exciting, something to work with. I've been impressed with his pace. His death bowling, the last few overs, probably just been a little bit raw and lacked a little bit. Someone's just texting to say, is that Lance Whitnell bowling?
Over the wicket to Sam Harper.
Slower shocker.
Outside, leg stump by a long way. That is a wide, as Gotchi forced to do a little bit of work there, scuffing up the elbows.
So that was a good question by you, because on cue, his execution of the variety that you need in this format, you've got to have, as a fast bowler, a great Yorker, a change of pace, and a really quick bouncer. They're 3 tools that have to be in your kit bag. He's got the good length ball with pace, but when he goes for the variety, he tends to miss.
Comes in again. Sam Harper facing up. He tries the ramp again. Got himself way too far outside the off stump. Couldn't get any bat on ball there. Is he trying to overutilise that one?
Well, it's a strength of his. It's a shot that he plays, and he's having a look at Billy Stanlake. That's the only man he's got to beat 45. So, 2 metres either side, and it's home free. But Hatcher, to his credit, both times has bowled outside off, which made it really... What the batsman wants in that situation is for it to be at the stumps, so he can just lift it over the top of the keeper's head. He followed him and made it more difficult to get it around the corner.
So having a look at the Rapid-Tune replay, he was almost on the grass when he tried to play that shot. Here's Hatcher again.
Slow ball.
Slow ball. Beautifully executed as well. Back of a length, and Harper forced to defend again. So, apart from the wide, it's been a reasonably good over, Hatcher.
Yep.
2 off.
And happy that he went with a slower ball again. That shows me bravery. He missed with one that went wide down the leg side. The easy thing for an inexperienced cricketer is to say, I'm not trying that again. I'll put that away. Clearly, he's practiced it at training, and he backed himself. That was like a leg-spinning slow ball, that one, and it was online. And it's a good ball to an aggressive player because it changes the pace out of the wicket on the batsman.
Last ball of the over. Hatcher in to Sam Harper. Harper flicking off his pads. That's 4. He got a good piece of that down to the fine leg boundary. 2 straight on the pads of Sam Harper. That's a 4 to finish the over. The Renegades going along nicely. Sam Harper 29, Sean Marsh 22, and 1 for 53, the Melbourne Renegades.
IMAR. We all know they're the tradies mates when it comes to business insurance. But did you know that IMAR has window cleaners covered too? Insure your window cleaning business with IMAR and receive commercial and industrial cover for 2-storey, 5-storey and no height restrictions. Plus, receive competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost. Just a simple phone call and we'll get you covered too. Call 13-IMAR now. That's 134627.
Now the tradies mate. That's IMAR.
Beautiful night at the home of cricket, and we've got the Melbourne Derby coming your way. 1 for 53, the Melbourne Renegades batting first. We've got a bowling change once again. That's Marcus Stoinis with the ball in his hand, Chuck.
The big Stoin.
That is big Marcus Stoinis bowling for the first time in this tournament. This is exciting.
Well, a bit of Lou Ferrigno? Used to be the Incredible Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this could be the difference for them throughout the rest of this tournament. If he's fit and up and running...
Well, he's a good variety bowler. I don't think he answers their death bowling question, but he gives them another bowling option for sure.
Bowling from the members' end to Sean Marsh now. Short, bit of a loosener. Under edge from Marsh, just a short third man, and they come through for a single. Looked like a bloke who hadn't bowled for a while, that ball. Just put that one down.
Yep, and no matter how much bowling he's done in the nets, which I'm sure he's plenty, there's nothing like bowling actually in the game. So these 4 overs are, well, who knows how many you'll bowl. Maybe only slip the 1 or 2 in the Stoin tonight, but
it's good to see him up and running though.
Absolutely it is. Big game player with the bat, and if he can add 3 or 4 overs into the Stars bowling lineup, gives them some great options.
Certainly does. He's in a bit of form with the bat.
So this is an interesting field here. They've got 4 men out on the leg side and no one in. 4 patrolling the boundary line.
Imagine he might be attacking the pads here. Comes in over the wicket on that pad on the leg stump line. It's flicked off the hip of Sam Harper, and they come back for an easy 2 down to fine leg. It's a strange field, isn't it?
Very strange, but clever batting. Why? 4 men on the boundary line, so he didn't try and overhit it and slog it. He just turned it off his hip, knowing deep boundaries, as we spoke about before. There's 2 there nearly every time. The late, great Dean Jones, a good friend of mine who I tragically lost earlier this year, he taught me here at the MCG, not that I was quick enough, if you drop the ball on the circle, Johnny, there's a 2 there every time.
Here's Marcus Stoinis again over the wicket to Harper on his pads, flicking beautifully.
Another 2.
And they'll come back for 2 here as the ball's gone out to mid-wicket. Quick throw.
So again, a lot of young batsmen think in this format, got to hit 4s, got to hit 6s, right? I wasn't very good at maths, Johnny, but if Harper does that every ball and takes 2, 6 times 2 is 12, that's a great over.
It's a very good over.
So you don't have to be all at the MCG, swinging like a rusty gate looking for 4s and 6s. Knock it into the gap, run 2. Even 3 2s in an over gives you 6 off it.
5 off so far. Marcus Stoinis in again, short. Geez, that got up and he tried to hook it, but just under-edged it straight back. Nearly went onto his stumps there.
So I love the tactics of the Big Bash. That's what I love the most of T20. And at the moment, it's very clear. The Stars have got 4 men. Deep fine leg, deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, deep long on. and Stoinis is just attacking the leg stump. So they've decided we're not letting Harper hit us through the offside. How will Harper counteract? Will he step to the leg side and show his stumps and try and hit it over cover because there's only the Spice Man at deep point? I'm looking forward to it here, or will Harper look for another nudging too?
Stoinis in again on that leg stump line once more, and they just nudge it out to the circle. And as Chuck said, you take 2 every time once you just drop and run to mid-wicket there. And that's exactly what they've done, Chuck. So another 2 on the board, 1 for 60 now. Sam Harper to 35, Sean Marsh to 23.
Clever batting, Johnny. I almost let an expletive go on there. I'm glad I had the cough mute there.
Don't do that to me on my debut, please, Chuck.
I had my little knee clean out just before Christmas. It's a little bit sore. I just tried to move it from under the desk and bashed the scar on the handle underneath. And it took all my intestinal fortitude to not go to air with an expletive. So,
we're going to have to call St John's ambulance.
Ouch.
Here's Stoinis to finish his over. Short again on the leg stump. Slower ball and just defended to mid-on. Come
7
through
off.
for a single. 7 off the over. It's 1 for 61.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Big Bash Nation, John Donohoe, Chuck Berry with you. Significantly wounded Chuck Berry.
That wounded, I said 7 off the over. We've got to correct our mistakes. Some people don't. 8 off the over it was. I missed one when I was lying on the floor in pain. 8 off the over, 1 for 61. So the Renegades have set a good platform, Johnny. Thanks to Nick from Newcastle enjoying our call, and he's on the back deck having a cool refreshment at home.
Zampa in again to Harper, cutting, using his feet once more, so he's not afraid to come down the wicket. Reads the spin quite well.
Well bowled by Adam Zampa, though. He saw Harper coming, so he pulled the ball, bowled it into the pitch. Very clever response by Adam Zampa.
Adam Zampa, 5 for 17 against the Strikers on Friday. Career best. Coming in again. Full ball, flicked off the pad. Straight down to mid-on. Come through for a single. There's a bit of worry about Adam Zampa and his shoulder when he went down the other night.
He'd be a huge loss because he has become a very, very good T20 bowler. Rarely does Zampa go for more than 30 in his 4 overs, and more often than not, it's low 20s. So economical. I was going to say not a huge wicket taker, but he's 3rd this year on the Big Bash list. So he is probably their most crucial bowling player.
Zampa in again, bowling to Sean Marsh. Cutting, Marsh, out. Dropped him. No. It was in the hands there of Liam Hatcher at backward point. And as soon as he hit the ground, it popped out.
Well, someone asked before who's playing full forward at the punt road end.
Oh, no.
Lance Whitnell, the big red, that should have been taken. That's actually a soda, to be honest.
Have a look at the Rapitude replay. That was in his hands and then out. That was a sitter.
We're going to make a little circle there, drop catch on that one. Could be crucial. It was Marsh, wasn't it?
It was Marsh, cutting.
A little note there.
Zampa in again, bowling now to Harper. He uses his feet, goes over the offside. That's going to be 4. Oh, that's costly. That's really costly now. Beautiful shot through extra cover.
What that is, John, is Phil Salt in the open wound. Just rub a little bit of salt in the wound. Marsh gets dropped. They get a single. Harper charges, smacks it over cover. Zampa, steam coming out his ears, and the Lance Whitnell lookalike Liam Hatcher. He made a hatch of it.
Zampa in again. How will he respond now? Full ball.
2.
On the legs of Harper. They
come on, old Sean.
They do come back for 2 as they just hit it down to mid-on. Oh, the throw from Glenn Maxwell. That's a battle I'll be interested in. The 36-year-old Sean Marsh taking on Glenn Maxwell, one of the best fielders in the world.
Good awareness by Glenn Maxwell. He knew Marsh was coming. Turning circle, the Queen Mary. Sean Marsh, barge, turn, and just got home with his 2.
Renegades 1 for 69. Sam Harper back on strike.
He's on 43, Johnny.
In again. And again, they're just bowling that leg stump line, and it's allowing them to push down to mid-on and mid-off, as that one is picked up by Glenn Maxwell at mid-on. And the drop catch costly in that over, 1 for 70.
Hey, it's
name's Matt McKeldin. And I'm Steve Johnson. And we're the hosts of The Driver's Seat, Australia's #1 motorsport radio show.
Each week we go through all the big news stories and chat to some of the biggest names in supercars.
Here with Mark Winterbottom. We're pumped, ready to go. Davey Reynolds here.
Got Sonic the Hedgehog phone cover. It's mad, eh?
Jamie Whincup, welcome back to The Driver's Seat.
Feels good to be back. Plus, you can catch up and get all the exclusive interviews first on the Driver's Seat app.
Get radio's #1 motorsport show on your smartphone. Thanks to Kubota, building Australia.
Melbourne Renegades 1 for 70. Chuck, they're going to put up a very nice bash boost total here for the Stars to try and chase down. Still 2 overs to go.
Yep. The most pleasing thing is the Renegades are in the game. Absolutely. After losing Aaron Finch second ball, a few texts were coming in saying, here we go again. Harper 44, Marsh 24. Very good partnership. 9 overs gone, 1 for 70. Renegades, if they hold their nerve, they're posting a 170 plus from here, and that is going to be a game on.
Billy Stanlake back into the attack now from the members' end. Bowling to Harper. In and full, and defended back down the wicket. Nice start there from Billy Stanlake.
Never a better chance for Sam Harper to make a statement here. MCG, 15,000 in the house, national television, more importantly, Big Bash Nation tuning in all around the country. He's on 44. He's got a real opportunity to post a big one here.
Sean Marsh on 24. And the Renegades 1 for 70. Here's big Billy Stanlake once more. Short. Jeez, that was enormous, and that's not getting into the hands of Seb Gotch. That's 4 buys.
Wides, buddy. That's 4
wides. That went a mile over Seb Gotch's head. Not a big man, Seb Gotch.
Goodness me.
Let's have a look at the rapid tune replay here.
That was so short, Johnny.
Very short. Gee, that. I don't think 2 Sam Harpers could have hit that. You know the only bloke that could have hit that? Billy Stanlake.
Yeah, and I reckon it was still over Billy's head. You're right. You could have put Sam Harper on Sam Harper's shoulders, and I still don't reckon he would have reached it.
Put Seb Gotch on his shoulders, and I don't think they would have reached it either. Here he is again. Fuller this time, lofted drive. The Spice Man's got a bit of work to do at backward point.
Slow down, Spice.
He reels it in just before the boundary. They come back for 2. Sam Harper going along very nicely now. 46, Sam Harper, 1 for 77, the Melbourne Renegades. And he's just doing it with ease at the moment, Chuck.
Very impressive. Footwork's been the key element of his game tonight. Marsh is playing the foil. He's just playing the little nudger and allowing Sam Harper to get on with it. He's on 46. Come on, a cut shot for 4, Sam, to bring up your 50.
Stanlake in again. Shorter this time, a slower ball. And he pulls out to mid-wicket. They'll just take 1. They've been dealing in 2s. He'll be disappointed he didn't get back for another 2. He's been hogging the strike.
Sun's just in an awkward spot now.
It is. It's right in the eye line, isn't it?
Creeping through from the western side of the G over the Melbourne City, if you like. We're sitting at the members' end. It's just peeking through, making it very difficult for the commentators.
Tell you what, though, Chuck, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else the MCG right now.
Doing a fine job, Johnny, on debut. You've got a little bit of Will Thacker about you tonight.
Here's Billy Stanlake again to Marsh driving. Gee, that one nearly...
Did he drop that, or was it a
No, I think it was a bump ball. That one nearly took his head off.
Results a dot.
Results a dot. It certainly is. 1 for 78 so far in the over. 1 ball to come. Billy Stanlake hitting a good length here. Let's have a look at the rapid tune replay. It was a bump ball, and he just broke through the hands of Billy Stanlake. Didn't cost him a run, so that's all right. Sean Marsh, 24. Sam Harper, 47.
One of my mates just texted in, Johnny, to you. I'll come back, or I might be into the over. It's a good question.
Here's Billy Stanlake. Short.
Hang on, here we go.
He hits long. The Spice Man's underneath it. Got him. Tried to take on the hook. The Spice Man ran around, and that's a great celebration. And the wicket, Sean Marsh is gone. 1 for 78. Becomes 278. Big breakthrough for the Stars.
Well, he took on the big boundary, Johnny, out to mid-wicket. Got underneath it. Wasn't a bad hit, you know. Spice Man came crawling around, and he sat underneath it. Caught it on his chest, actually, in the forward pocket. Sort of Jack Riewoldt style. Out he come. Held on. Spice wasn't sure what to do. I think he wanted to do a somersault.
He wanted to kick it from 10 metres out.
Just did a little sort of jig, and that was the end of him.
That wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. It's also the end of the over. 2 for 78, the Melbourne Renegades.
Hi, it's Doug the Tradie. If you're a tradie like me, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer competitive premiums, instant cover and no paperwork. Go online, get an instant quote and pay the premium, or call an expert now on 13IMAR. You'll be covered in a few simple steps and ready to get on with the job. Visit imar.com.au today or call 13IMAR and get a quote, get covered, get working.
Now the trade is made. That's IMAR.
Billy Stanlake's still bowling, Chuck.
You went
forgot
a bit
about the
early,
five
Johnny.
wides. Did forget about the five wides. Here he comes for his final ball. No abort mission there.
I know you're excited, Johnny, on your debut, and it's all happening. There's wides, there's Spiceman, there's catches, and that's okay. We still had plenty of time to come back.
Plenty of time. Haven't missed anything.
Last ball of Billy's over. Nothing's happened.
No. Here he goes again. Bowling to Sam Harper. Just on the leg stump line, just tucks that one to mid-wicket. Jake Fraser-McGurk, the new batsman. It's now the end of the over, and it's now 2 for 79.
So we're going to continue on because it's at the end of the 10th over, Johnny, here, and it's the when the coaches come out, the mid-innings break. So the bonus point target now will actually be 80.
80.
2 for 79. I'm just writing that in my little scorebook here so we can refer later in the evening. 2 for 79 is an ideal platform. Michael Klinger hasn't had a lot to get excited about. He came bounding out onto the MCG, out to his batsman and straight to Sammy Harper, gave him a tap on the shoulder. The youngsters are there now. Fraser-McGurk's with him at the wicket. Aaron Finch, he's come out, not sure what he's talking about. Now, he's probably said, don't slog it across the line. So they're having a chat, and the good thing for the Renegades fans with us tonight is your team is absolutely in the game at the halfway stage. We know 2 or 3 overs the game can change significantly, but if they can just continue on, John, with their momentum, they're going to post a 170 plus from here. They could even go bigger. Bo Webster can hit a big ball. Mackenzie Harvey probably out of position coming in at number 5, but I'm tipping from here at a minimum the Renegades sort of 165, 170. If they actually go really well, they could push the dynamic 200 figure.
Absolutely. So a very solid start. Do you, if you're the Melbourne Stars, make any changes in terms of X-Factor subs? We got Sam Rainbird and Ed Newman. Obviously, Rainbird a bowler.
I'd be surprised if they do. I reckon, they're going to go, let's wait and see, but I don't expect them to change Rainbird in at this stage. They'll go with their spinners. They got... and you can only change if you bowled the one over. I was going to say maybe Billy Stanlake out, but he's bowled 2, hasn't he?
A couple of overs, he has.
So you can't, I would have maybe have gone Rainbird instead of Stanlake, but he's just bowling there. I'm just checking my sheet. Yeah, it was his second over, so makes it difficult to make that change. And who was the other sub?
Ed Newman, who's a batsman from Dandenong, so I don't think they'll be making that change just yet.
I don't think so. We'll let you know if we hear anything different of that. But the halfway stage, 2 for 79, and Sam Harper's on 48, played a wonderful knock so far. Time for him to go big. Fraser-McGurk, the exciting young talent at the other end.
Like the look of this young boy, Jake Fraser-McGurk.
So my mate texted him before. He said, is your co-host Johnny Donoghue any relation to the ex-Cat full forward Larry Donoghue?
No relation. Irish family, born in Dublin. So
sorry, Bucky. No.
Coming in again, Zampa using his feet is Sam Harper, and again hitting out to that vacant mid-on region. And they come through for a single. No, born and raised myself in Dublin as well.
Dublin?
Yeah. So no relation to any of the Aussie Donohoes.
Larry Donoghue, the great full forward, owned the pub down there in Winchelsea for quite a few years. Have an ale with a man who kicked a ton or something was his catch, right? You're too young to even understand. It's only our old blokes know what I'm talking about.
Jake Fraser-McGurk facing his first ball now and just sort of swats that one to mid-on. Sam Harper took off, taking on Glenn Maxwell. A direct hit would have been very, very close there. A bit of miscommunication between Fraser-McGurk and Harper. He was off Harper.
And Glenn Maxwell almost threw his shoulder at him. He threw it that hard at the stumps. His arm was still... I reckon his arm sort of caught up in Swanson Street.
Adam Zampa in again. Bowling to a young talent, Fraser-McGurk. Wrong and on the front foot, defending out to Stoinis at mid-off. 2 for 80. Wickets to fall. Sean Marsh caught by the Spiceman off Billy Stanlake. And obviously Aaron Finch bowled by Glenn Maxwell. Here's Zampa again. Oh, that's a great shot from Fraser-McGurk. He's hit it over the head of Glenn Maxwell. He just read the length, and that's 4 runs. Maxwell did all he could. Looked like he was going to catch up to it, but that's 4 runs.
Might have hurt himself.
Oh, he's hit the fence. He has.
I reckon he landed on the ball.
Let's have a look at the Rapid-tune.
He's on the microphone, so he's lost his kit. I reckon he might have landed on the ball.
Look at the Rapid-tune replay. Trying to dive.
Or did he land on his wrist?
He might have landed on his wrist, I think, there. So Fraser McGurk off the mark with a 4.
Good shot. That's forced Maxwell back. So
long off.
He was up. He's gone back to long on.
Is Zamperin again, a lofted drive down the ground. No risk in that one. It's gone down to long on where Glenn Maxwell is. They come through for a single. He moves to 5.
He's hurt the shoulder. Yeah. Left shoulder. I've just got the binoculars on Maxie down at long on. Left shoulder landed awkwardly. Let's hope it's nothing significant because he's going to be needed for the Stars to chase this tonight.
Certainly is. Zamperin again. Bowling to Harper, using his feet. Hit him on the pad. Big appeal. He was a long way down the pitch. The umpire saying no luck there. That's the end of the over, the 11th over, 2 for 85.
Historic victories.
Richmond win their 3rd premiership in 4 years.
Heartbreak.
From the Australian Grand Prix, just want to say sorry to our fans. The event can't go ahead.
And jubilation.
Driving clear. Johnny Get Angry's going to do it for Dennis. Johnny Get Angry wins the Victoria Derby.
Across every town and city, sport is the glue of our local community. Listen anywhere, anytime on the SEN app. The latest news articles, podcasts, live sport and more. Download the SEN app today.
Back to the MCG. John Donohoe with you. Joined by Chuck Berry for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with their app. 11 overs bowled, Chuck. 2 for 85. Nice platform set.
Very much so. Renegades are in a strong position at the moment. Khan is going to bowl his 3rd over of the night. Bit of Irish texting coming in. What happened to your accent? Said Dave from Fairfield.
2 when I moved away from
a joke. I'll go there.
Zahir Khan in. Driving. That was a wrong one, but straight back down the wicket.
Yeah, I don't like that joke, actually. I was going to go with it. I'm not sure about that one.
Plenty of Irish jokes out there, aren't there?
I'll let that go through to the keeper, JD.
Zahir Khan in again. Bowling to Fraser McGurk. Bowled him! Came down the wicket, misread it, and it skidded through. And Zahir Khan's off. He's run to mid-wicket, trying to find a teammate.
That's a shame for Fraser McGurk. Sadly, probably reminiscent of Aaron Finch's swipe. Young man, I'm not going to lose faith. He's a talented kid, this kid, but that was a big old hoiko. Lifted his head. He knows straight away, knew, you silly boy, he said, in his head, and stumps are knocked over. And again, just a little twist in the game. Fraser McGurk departs. 3 for 85. Mackenzie Harvey comes in batting in an unnatural position. He's a top order player. He's coming in batting at number 5. And he joins Harper. So, interesting little wicket that one. Zahir Khan was very happy with it.
Jake Fraser McGurk out for 5. That full wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. Mackenzie Harvey to the crease. The Melbourne Renegades stalling a little bit after such a good start. 3 for 85 now. Zahir Khan picking up the wicket. Very important wicket of Jake Fraser McGurk.
Slip in place here, Johnny, so attacking Glenn Maxwell straight away. Left-hander on strike. He's probably backing that young Mackenzie Harvey won't pick the spin. You've called it a few times tonight that Zahir Khan's bowled a lot of wrong-uns. Well, with the slip in place, he needs to bowl his natural left-arm leg spinner or left-arm Chinaman and whip it outside Mackenzie's outside edge, and Maxie's there waiting.
Khan in again, first ball. Trying to just dab that one down to third man was Mackenzie Harvey and just let that one go through to Seb Gotch.
Little thing, big things. Billy Stanlake should not be at backward point. Should not be at backward point. Someone needs to tell Maxie, come on, you don't have 6'10". The ball's spinning away from the left-hander. He's in the hot spot.
Khan in again. Slip in place, and there's that man you're talking about. Oh, he fell over.
Giraffe on ice.
That didn't look very elegant at all. Glenn Maxwell's right next to him, so he could just yell out to him.
Got the
get
job
someone
done,
more agile.
Yeah, that's just a strange one. That it really is. Can't hide them everywhere.
It's a long way down, isn't it, Chuck?
And that's where the ball's going to go, and it's going to be spinning. And I hope it's not, but a mistake could come here from the big Billy.
Here's Khan in again. Wrongen again on the leg stump line. Flicked out to mid-wicket. They'll come back for 2 here, will they? The Spice Man steaming in again. he was too quick. So they only got the one. He's good to watch, the Spice Man, even when he's fielding.
He's got, as I said earlier, a little bit James Rain about him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know James Rain is, Johnny? Is he a bit... That's all right, I'm glad you do. How old are you, John?
27.
27, so I'm only a couple of years older. Like about 24. The Spice Man charges, and your motor's running way too fast.
Here's Khan in again, bowling to Harper. Harper down the wicket, and that one just spinning off his hip. Takes one out to mid-wicket.
Good over by
Good over there by Zahir Khan. 3 for 87, the Melbourne Renegades. And that's Harper's 50.
Well played.
Sam Harper, a beautiful start to proceedings. 3 for 87, the Melbourne Renegades.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro. And that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Renegades off to a nice start. 3 for 87. Sam Harper's 50 coming off 40 deliveries. And this is a bowling change that we haven't seen for a while. Nick Maddinson into the attack.
Oh, the left arm nude spinners. Look at that.
That's just a nude nut right there.
Yep.
Harper just pushes him down the ground to mid-on. Takes on Glenn Maxwell. He's got bullet arm.
For 2.
Geez, that's a good ump. Throws it into Seb Gotch. Come back for 2. 3 for 90. 3 for 89.
So more spin. More spin. Zampa's bowled 3. Khan's bowled 3. Maxwell's bowled 2.
It's been a tactic they've employed the last couple of games.
Good tactic.
Here's Maddinson to Harper. Gets him on the back foot, and he's just turned that one to the Spice Man at deep mid-wicket. So another single. Why would they be using that spin-friendly tactic? Do they not have the faith in their fast bowlers, Chuck?
Well, I'm just looking. What have they got? Stanlake and Hatcher. They're only 2, aren't they? And Stoinis.
And Stoinis.
He's not fast, but medium, right arm medium, if you like. So, don't worry about it. Tactics, spin, no dramas with it at all.
Could get a couple of overs out of Hilton Cartwright.
Yes, true. Yeah. Harry says Merry Christmas to the batsman. Maddison's bowling.
That one tucked off his legs from Sam Harper again. Sorry, Mackenzie Harvey takes a single out to mid-wicket.
Stanlake at backward point is like Plugger going on the ball.
Well, he's at third man now, short third man.
That's got to be one of your mates, St Kilda person. I reckon Timmy from out over.
Oh, that is a real rank short ball.
That had sauce on it.
And it's lucky it wasn't put away. And Nick Maddinson did the fielding as it was just pushed for 1 to mid-on. Surprising tactic, unless Glenn Maxwell just trying to save himself for the later overs. Maxwell's got 2 left. Stanlake 2 left. Khan with 1.
Maxie has only bowled 2, has he?
Only bowled 2.
They were early on. They were in the power play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he might have come again, Maxie.
Maddinson around the wicket. Oh, gave himself some room. Hit it straight down the ground. Maxwell going to come around and field that. They'll come back for 2. That was a wayward throw for Glenn Maxwell. Straight down the ground, the punt road end.
Well, he threw off balance. No matter how good you are, Glenn Maxwell's one of the best in the world, but again, trying to teach local blokes, Johnny, down on the peninsula, you need to be balanced when you throw. Maxie was like Torval and Dean then. He was spinning and upside down, and no coincidence he missed the target by 10 metres.
Last ball, Maddinson's over on the back foot driving. Again, Glenn Maxwell at mid-on doing the fielding. So the Renegades
got out of that with 8.
Got out of that with 8. After 13 overs bowled, the Renegades 3 for 95.
IMAR. We all know they're the tradies mates when it comes to business insurance. But did you know that IMAR has window cleaners covered too? Insure your window cleaning business with IMAR and receive commercial and industrial cover for 2-storey, 5-storey and no height restrictions. Plus, receive competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost. Just a simple phone call and we'll get you covered too. Call 13-IMAR now. That's 134627.
They're the tradies mate. That's IMAR.
Welcome back, Big Bash Nation. John Donohoe, Chuck Berry joining us for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with their app. 3 for 95. The Renegades, Chuck, has more spin into the attack.
Well, here's your man. Maxwell's back on. We thought he wasn't far away, and Nice of Mrs. Donahoe to text in. I'll get back to that in a minute.
Comes in, bowling, hitting it down the ground. Beautiful shot. McAharvey for 6.
Great shot.
Full in length. Just got under it. Didn't use his feet. Managed to hit that one straight down the ground. That's a boundary for the TAC. Don't let your luck run out.
Great shot. Stood still, whacked it nicely. Mrs. Donoghue on the text. She's put a number, but not her name. But you know and I know she ends in 091. This John Donohoe bloke has the voice of an angel. Come on, man. Mrs. Donohoe on the text.
It's the first time I've heard that.
Spice, man. And Lee, of course, very reactive call from Lee, as always.
Here's Maxwell. Oh, he just tucked him up a little bit there. Pushed him back. Harvey just defending to the leg side.
Dot ball. Lee's been one of our serial texters. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Generally on my back. Still think they should have dropped Harper, Chuck. Pretty good after the event, Lee, aren't you? Pretty good.
Here's Maxwell again, cutting this time McAharvey. He's going to get one, big past big Billy Stanlake. They come back for 2.
Yep. Well run.
And you're taking on Billy Stanlake. Not a bad call. They do come back for 2. 3 for 102.
Sometimes, Lee, as a commentator, you've got to make a proactive call before the event. It's easy at home in your lounge room with a couple of cool refreshments just jumping on. Lee and I got a love-hate relationship. Mostly hate, to be honest with you, Johnny.
Maxwell in again. Trying to hit him out of the park was McAharvey. Full in length. Just spun past the leg stump. Bit of Aaron Finch about that one.
Big slog. Gotchi needs the long sleeves again.
Yeah, he's fumbled that one.
If he'd had the long sleeves.
We'll talk about that more at the innings break.
Let's not waste any time on that.
Maxwell in again. And this time over the offside. That's going to go for 4.
That's a great
That's a beautiful shot through extra cover. Gave himself some room. That's another boundary for the TAC. Don't let your luck run out. Just gave himself room and hit it over the offside for 4. McAharvey.
The exuberance of youth. Mackenzie Harvey, what a great shot. He hit a 6 straight down the ground, Maxwell's first ball. That is a great shot. He opened himself up and he smacked it over cover. He's taken 12 off the over and there's still a ball left in the Maxwell over.
Here he comes with that ball. This time just defended square.
Looking for 2.
The onside? No. They just take the single.
Good over, though.
That'll be the end of the over. 3 for 108, the Melbourne Renegades. Sam Harper on 54 and McAharvey 18.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Back to the MCG, Big Bash Nation. John Donohoe, Chuck Berry with you. Melbourne Stars taking on the Melbourne Renegades. The first time these two teams have met in this year's Big Bash competition, and they'll do it all again in a couple of days, Chuck, just down the road at Marvel Stadium.
Yep, the return Wednesday night, is that
Wednesday night? It is, certainly.
Hopefully you and I will be together again, Johnny.
Nice.
See if we get it. Now, it looks like Big Lance Whitnell's back in the attack.
Also known as Liam Hatcher.
Yep.
Coming in, bowling to McAharvey now. Full, he swats him down the ground. That's going to go all the way for 6. Not a great start to his over.
How exciting. Mackenzie Harvey. First ball of Hatcher. He's rolled in a leg-spinning slower ball. Mackenzie Harvey just treated it with disdain. Opened himself up. Hit it so clean. So clean. This is some sort of start. Mackenzie Harvey's 24. How many balls has he faced, Johnny?
He's
Not many.
faced 13 balls. That was effortless. Straight back over Liam Hatcher's head. And that boundary for TAC. Don't let your luck run out. What a shot.
When it's your brother's child, is that your nephew or your cousin? That's your nephew, isn't it? Is it? Yeah. I'm not good on the family tree. Just doing the numbers here in my head. Ian Harvey's nephew.
Yes.
Mackenzie's dad, Darren Harvey. I'll talk about him in a minute.
Here's Hatcher again. This one on the
could get 2
on the hip. They will take on Hatcher, who's done his own fielding. No.
Oh, well done.
He did well in the end. Big Lance Whitnell takes him on, and they only get 1. 3 for 115 now. McAharvey races to 25.
As you know, Johnny, I grew up in country Victoria, Wonthaggi. Round the corner, so I was 41 Park Street, just around the corner. Ian Harvey and his brothers, Craig, Chad, and the oldest brother, Darren, who is the father of Mackenzie. Big Harbour. He was a very good footballer and cricketer as a kid, Darren Harvey, but never went to the great heights that his brother Ian did. Ian was actually a better footballer as a kid. than a cricketer. And he went on to play one-day cricket for Australia. So, yeah, that's my point. The nephew, obviously, Ian Harvey.
Here's Hatcher again. This one full, driven. The cross bat down the ground. Glenn Maxwell doing the fielding. Lovely part of the world, Thaggy.
It's nice in summer. A little bit cool in winter for my liking. But I, growing up in country Victoria, loved it. And that's where I learned all my sport. Had some great role models. But you could kick a footy, Johnny, out of my front yard into the Harvey backyard. So there was a lot of backyard cricket and footy between the Harveys and myself. I was much older brothers and sisters. They'd left, so I had to go to the Harveys for a bit of entertainment.
Here's Hatcher in again, bowling to Macca Harvey. Cutting.
Shot.
Oh, what a shot through backward point. Just lent on it.
This is class.
Past Zahir Khan at point. That is a beautiful stroke from Macca Harvey. Another boundary for the TAC. Don't let your luck run out. Oh, he just used the pace of the ball, lent on it. And that is another beautiful boundary. This is a good innings here from these two youngsters.
He's, again, shown enough tonight. Mackenzie Harvey and Fraser McGurk, just play them. Renegades, just play them for the rest of this. Don't even think about leaving any of them out. Play them at 4 and 5 or 3 and 4, whatever you want to do, but get time into them so then next year they've got a bit more experience and they can be almost the backbone of your side next year.
3 for 120. Is Hatcher again. Expensive over so far. Macca Harvey on fire at the moment. That one a Yorker that he had to dig out. Well bowled. He's just hit that one to cover. Couldn't take a run.
Good response.
Good response. This is what we spoke about earlier, Chuck. The execution of the late overs. And unfortunately for the Stars, they haven't had someone, and losing Harris Ralph now, haven't had someone who can execute.
They need the river back in, don't they? They need the River Nile.
Yes, they do.
Nathan Coulter-Nile needs to get back into this Melbourne Stars lineup. That's their missing link for mine.
Here he is to finish off the over. Liam Hatcher bowling to Macca Harvey. Bowled him!
No!
Bowled him! An expensive over ends with Liam Hatcher having the last laugh. Tried to cut one that was far too close to be cut. He goes for 29.
I know it's the end of the over, so we'll come back and talk about it. The Renegades 4 for 120.
Hi, it's Doug the Tradie. If you're a tradie like me, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer competitive premiums, instant cover and no paperwork. Go online, get an instant quote and pay the premium, or call an expert now on 13IMAR. You'll be covered in a few simple steps and ready to get on with the job. Visit imar.com.au today or call 13IMAR and get a quote, get covered, get working.
Where the trade is made, that's IMAR.
4 for 120 here at the MCG, the Melbourne Renegades, the outgoing batsman, and that wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. Macca Harvey gone for 29 from 17 deliveries.
Well, it's a shame because you always want more. You always want more, and as a coach, you want more. But that was a really good innings, 29 off 17. It injected a little bit of impetus in the innings for the Renegades because they just stalled a little bit at the dismissal of Marsh. Fraser McGurk followed soon after, and there was a bit of a stall. Then all of a sudden, 13 and 12 off the last 2 overs. So I'm giving Mackenzie Harvey a tick. Yeah, we would have loved him to be there for 3 or 4 more overs, but in comes big slug Webster to the crease, and still Harper on 55.
Zahir Khan bowling his final over short and pulled away out to the leg side. And Cartwright doing the fielding there. They just come through for a single. Bo Webster coming off 50 against the Brisbane Heat in their last game. He can hit a long ball.
He can. He's a clean striker, Webster, and he's another one that I reckon was sort of in and out of their side. I think he's in their best side, and, if he's their finisher, I think they're now, sadly too late for them, Johnny. Too late finding the recipe.
Here's Zahir Khan once again. Wrongin, as he's done all night on the leg stump line. They might take 2 here. Webster just tucking that one out to mid-wicket. Misfield pausing. That was Billy Stanlake that ran past it. A bit of confusion there.
Giraffe
and they came through for a second. So Bo Webster back on strike, 4 for 123. Let's have a look at the replay for Rapitune. We'll keep you moving. Oh, confusion. Hilton Cartwright thought Stanlake was going to pick it up, and they both ran past it.
They were sort of coming off the southeastern, and Punt Road was merging, and both cars looked at each other, and neither went.
Is Zahir Khan again. Bowled him again!
Oh, knocked him.
Bo Webster goes back and just played all around it. It's taken the off stump. Another wicket falls, and the aeroplane was out for Zahir Khan.
Well, that is a big wicket because we were just talking up Webster coming off a half century. Was that his first rock? Second ball. Just played all around that. That's totally bamboozled by the spin of the aeroplane Zahir Khan. Beautiful left arm leg spinner ripped in towards the stumps, and it was through Webster before he could do anything about it. So all of a sudden the Renegades wobble. They were 2 overs ago, super strong position. It changes quickly. Imad Wazim, the left-hander, comes to the wicket. Look, he can hit the ball, this bloke. He hasn't done much. Maybe it's his night as well. Harper holds the key here, Johnny.
Absolutely. That wicket for Scott Pack, turning unpaid invoices into cash, scottpack.com.au. And you just think, had they had a bloke called Mohamed Nabi in the side, he'd probably be in at this point in time and could really be handy for them.
Well, he would be, but could have, would have, should have. Instead, they've got Imad Wazim, the left-hander from Pakistan. He's opened a little bit in the Pakistan Super League. When I was over there with Dino, we were as Islamabad United, and this guy was at the time with Karachi Kings, and he had often come in as a bit of a pinch hitter up the top, so he can hit it. He's had a disappointing series. Let's see if he can do something tonight to get the Renegades up to, they want to be up to around 170.
5 for 123. Sam Harper still stuck on 56. Zahir Khan bowling a ripping spell here. He's got 2 for 20. From 3.2 overs. In again, Rongan once more. Was him just cutting out to deep cover. Comes through for a single. 5 for 124.
So 2 balls left in the Zahir Khan spell. You're right. He's been very, very good tonight. 2 for 21. Anything under 25 is a massive win in T20. So unless he gets whacked these last 2, we'll put a tick. Can he get another wicket for the Stars?
Khan in again. And what do you know? It's another Rongan. And it's pushed out to the mid-wicket fence. There's Hilton Cartwright throwing the ball in into Gotchi, and they take a single. 5 for 125.
Last ball of the 16th over. The game has gone into a bit of an arm wrestle now. Renegades were certainly about to knock the Stars' arm into the bench, but a couple of wickets, and we're back up the top in the arm wrestle.
Here's Khan to finish his spell. Bowls a Rongan, cutting again. Imad Wazim out to that cover region, and they'll come through for another single. A successful over and a successful spell from Zahir Khan. He finishes up with 2 for 23, and the Renegades are 5 for 126.
If you love racing, you'll love SEN Track. Start your day with us, Ian Healy and Pat Welsh, and catch up on all the latest in chasing, pacing and racing. Join us on SEN Track Ingham 96.1 FM, Atherton 99.1 FM, and the all-new Gold Coast 1620 AM, and Brisbane 1053 AM.
It's the new sound of chasing, pacing and racing.
Join in all the fun on SEN Track.
SEN Track.
Also available on the SEN app.
4 overs to go. The Melbourne Renegades were cruising along there, Chuck. They were 1 for 70, 2 for 79 at the 10th over.
Yep.
And now they find themselves 5 for 126. I guess that's the nature of T20 cricket, but you just think that they've left a few runs out there.
They got the speed wobbles. It sort of reminded me as a young boy going down the hill in Dandenong, or actually in the classy part of Dandenong, Dufton, on the skateboard. Thought I was going pretty well, and I got the speed wobbles, and over I went onto the bitumen and tore all the skin off the shoulder. So that's what's happened to the Gades. They were travelling beautifully, smoothly. Bang, couple of wickets, speed wobbles. Power surge. The power surge has been taken. You know what? Again, you've asked me before, and I wasn't switched on enough. I reckon they should have taken it, and this is Lee. This is one of your calls, reactive. They should have taken it when Mackenzie Harvey was going.
Yes.
And they had Harper in. So now they've got Imad Wazim, who's what is he on 2? He's faced 2 balls. So he's got to, for his team, almost throw caution to the wind. Harper's set. He's the one that can do the damage. Will this bring another wicket or 2 for the Stars, or will the Renegades surge? The 2 men out are both deep on the leg side.
Here's Hatcher bowling the first of the power surge overs. Was him driving straight down the ground. Didn't get all of it. Taking on Maxwell. Direct hit would have been close. Again, Maxwell putting everything into that as they scurry through for a quick single.
How hard does he throw it?
His shoulders.
Unbelievable.
His shoulders post-career, I reckon, will be...
Yep.
I'll need a couple of clean outs, I would have thought.
So 1 off the first. You get 12 balls here to do maximum damage.
What's a good score in the power surge, do you think?
Honestly, 24 plus. Okay. You know, you've got to get, I reckon, 2 a ball. So anything above 24 is a win, but some teams are getting 35, in the power surge, and the game swings massively. Equally, I've called a lot of the games this year where the power surge has actually played in favour of the bowling team, and they've taken a couple of wickets because all the field comes up, which shows you the tactics of the game, that if you're brave to bring the field up to the new batsman, you can actually squeeze some dots. They try and go over the top, they don't get it, and they lose a wicket. The dangerous player's Harper. He's on strike. 2 men out on the leg. A deep backward square. So you'd suggest Hatcher's going to angle at his stumps. Will Harper try and hit through the off?
Here he comes again. Hatcher, short. He tries to pull him. Didn't get all of it. Under edge, straight down the ground. So that'll be a dot ball.
And for the bowling team, every dot ball, or in fact, every score under a boundary is actually a tick, I reckon, for the bowling. So if you can get a dot or a one in the power surge, massive tick. So far, Hatcher is in the battle. 2 balls, 1 and a dot.
So this is where we talk about the execution. If he strays and gives any width, there's so much room on that offside.
I'm interested what Harper, they're moving the man out deep a little more towards Cowell. So Harper will try and get him over Maxwell's head here at long on.
Here comes Hatcher again. This one shorter. Oh, he gave himself some room, tried to hoik it to that mid-wicket fence, and that one the Stars get away with. Good too much room.
Now, Sammy Harper's, his heart ready to be going. He'll have a good sweat up. He's on 57. He's played a fine innings, but he's got to get bat on ball in this power surge. Repeating for our listeners, all of the offside is up in an umbrella circle field. There's a man on the leg side at 45. Deep backward square, deep cow corner and mid-on. Will he go the ramp? What about the ramp?
He might try it here. Let's have a look. Hatcher in again. Oh, that is a bad ball down the leg side, and that's really, really wide down the leg side. We'll bowl that one again. That's the other thing. You don't want to give away free runs like that.
It's almost, they're free hits at this stage of the game. We're in the 17th over. Only, we've got 21 balls left in the inning, so Harper, he's just stalled a bit, Harper. It's been a good innings, but he got the sort of 50, and these last 7 have been pretty slow. His percentage shot here probably is the ramp. Ramp shot is because the 45's up in the circle.
Hatcher over the wicket again. Oh, he's tried the ramp, and he's got none of it. Oh, there's been a mid-pitch collision. Liam Hatcher trying to go and catch the ball. Sam Harper was so wide on the wicket that they ran into each other and both looking at the ball.
Sammy Harper, he just has a history of getting tangled up with people. Sadly, he's had some serious concussions, Sammy Harper. But you remember the game at the Marvel Stadium, was it last year or the year before? Or Adelaide Oval, we went, it was Marvel, I reckon. He went up and over the bowler and landed on his head. How he's collided there. He was on 2 pitches away. He tried to play the ramp and went up in the air. Look at them, bang, into each other they went. Hatcher went down like a bag of spuds.
Shades of the 1989 grand final there, Dermy.
Oh, it was a little man and a big man. I thought Lance Whitnell might have cleaned up little Paul Callery, but
geez, that centre square's seen their fair share of those sorts of hits.
And you know what? Actually, I got Billy Stanlake. If he was ruthless there, he could have run him out. Good sportsmanship. Yeah. You saw the collision, Billy, and he picked up the ball, and Harper was 10 metres out. He could have had a shot at the stumps, and he was really in his right to. I mean, it was a run out on, but good sportsmanship. He just thought, hey, one of my teammates is down and one of theirs is down. He held the ball, and all is well that ends well.
They did come through for a single. I think Harper stopped to try and run over and see if Hatcher was okay, but he is. He's up and going. He's going to bowl to Imad Wazim now. Comes around the wicket. Bowls full. That's well executed. They take the Yorker on. They take the single there, as it was just ricocheting off his pads. Hatcher doing the work. So they take another run. 5 for 130 now in the 17th over. Sam Harper, 58. Imad Wazim, 4. It's been a good knock from Sam Harper. At all the shots, 58 from 49 deliveries.
This has been a good over by Hatcher, though. It's the power surge, listeners. If you've just joined us late, you might have been out for a spot of dinner or at the back and having a cool refreshment like one of our boys earlier on was. This has been 1... wide 1-1. Last ball of the over. If Hatcher can get out of this with a single, it is going to be a great tick for the Melbourne Stars.
Let's see what he can do now. Comes in over the wicket, bowling to Harper. Harper gives himself some room, cuts through the gap. That'll go for 4, will it?
I reckon it
no,
will.
he got a hand to it there at cover. It was close. Oh, geez, so close to Hilton Cartwright's outstretched hand. They come back for 3 in the end.
Is that over? That is over.
It is over. 5 for 133, the Melbourne Renegades.
If you love racing, you'll love SEN Track. Start your day with us, Ian Healy and Pat Welsh, and catch up on all the latest in chasing, pacing and racing. Join us on SEN Track Ingham 96.1 FM, Atherton 99.1 FM, and the all-new Gold Coast 1620 AM, and Brisbane 1053 AM.
It's the new sound of chasing, pacing and racing.
Join in all the fun on SEN Track.
SEN Track.
Also available on the SEN app.
Eventful over, 5 for 133, 3 to go, Chuck. Billy Stanlake's got 2 left, so you'd imagine he'll bowl his final 2.
So he's going to bowl the power surge here. This is risk-reward again. Billy Stanlake can get it horribly right or horribly wrong.
Yes. Hopefully he doesn't launch one over Seb Gotch's head again. So here he is. He's at the members' end now. See if he can take a crucial wicket of Sam Harper. He comes over the wicket. Short, slower ball, dispatched into mid-wicket, but there's 2 men out there. Marcus Stoinis mopping up as they come back for a second. So they're bowling to the plan, I guess. Got the men out on the left side.
Just the 2.
5 for 135. Sam Harper moves to 63. It's been a mature innings from Sam Harper. Imad Wasim, 4.
All up in the offside, 2 out on the leg side, 5 balls left to the power surge. What can Sam Harper do here?
Here's Billy again. Oh, that one's short. He nicked it. Gotchi got him. Slower ball bouncer. Tried to just hoik it up over the slips. He got an edge. And Seb Gotch taking a great catch. Must have been the short sleeves, Chuck.
Was the short sleeves. Well bowled by Stanlake because it was a slower ball bouncer and it didn't give young Harper any pace to work with. Unfortunately, it was a very good innings, but it stalled in the last 3 or 4 overs and he could barely reach that. All he managed to do is get a nick through to Gotchi, who did take, it would have been a wide. If he'd let that go, it was definitely a wide. And a nice launch by the wee little man with the short sleeves. Good grab by Seb Gotch behind the pegs. And a big blow because the set batsman departs and you wanted him there at the end. So the Renegades have stalled, sadly, again.
Sam Harper out for 63. That wicket, all thanks to Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. The Renegades now 6 for 135. Big Will Sutherland. He can still hit a ball, so they're not really into the full tail just yet. He's an all-rounder.
He's an all-rounder.
Classified.
Opportunity, albeit only for about a dozen balls, but they really have stalled. I'm just looking at my scorecard. 3 for 108 after 14, and they're now 6 for 135. So well done to the Stars for hitting back. Renegades, for the game's sake and for their fans' sake, can they get another 30 from here to make it? They need 30, I reckon, to make it competitive. Need 165 to be in the game, I would have thought, here tonight.
So far, they haven't taken full advantage of the power surge. Here's Stanlake again, bowling to Will Sutherland. Full, slower ball on the leg stump. Tucked down to fine leg. They'll take 1. Sutherland off the mark. First ball, 6 for 136. Imad Wasim back on strike.
Well, this power surge has been a win for the Stars.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's happened. We talked about the new rules. A lot of the times, not all the time, sometimes batting teams take full advantage. They left it too late. Mackenzie, Harvey and Harper, that was the time to take it. 2 set batsmen playing with freedom. They took it after they'd lost Harvey, after they'd lost Webster. They then took the surge because they were wondering, we can't leave, and it was too late. So a tactical error by the Renegades.
Billy Stanlake in now to Imad Wasim. Short, slower ball. He just turns that one. Hook shot out to mid-on. Maxwell doing the fielding. It was a wide mid-on, and they come back for 2. Good running there. So 138 now. Still, you need boundaries in this 2-over stint of the power play. And it's fair to say they've probably executed their plans, Chuck. They've had 2 on the leg side the whole time.
They have, and that is the key element of T20 cricket. Can you execute the ball that you've got your field set for. And the Stars have done it very, very well. And they've gone from being in a troubled position to a strong position.
Here's Stan Lake again at the members' end. Full. Oh, and that was him. Tries to launch him up and over. Spiceman coming around, couldn't get to it. It bounced just before him.
Spice should have had a shot at that.
Gee. It looked as though Maxwell left it because he knew that the Spiceman was going to try. And he sort of just pulled up on it. They came back for 2. 6 for 140.
Really surprised that the Spice didn't put the foot on the accelerator. Andre Fletcher's a good field and he's taken some great catches. He would have had to been going full stretch, but why not? If he takes a wicket there, that's a massive break. But he sort of just stopped and let it bounce in front of him, and the result was 2 to Imad Wazim. Last ball of the power surge. Renegades need a boundary. Can the Stars get another wicket?
Bowled by Stan Lake to Wazim. He cuts. Couldn't get it past the field. Oh, direct hit will be out. Oh, he just took off Imad Wazim. Nearly threw Will Sutherland under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
The direct hit from Marcus Stoinis at backward point would have been out. Not to be. Power surge over. Renegades 6 for 141.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch to
Just to go, Melbourne Derby. Here at a lovely MCG as the sun's gone down now, Chuck. The lights have taken hold.
Yep.
6 for 141. What would you be happy with if you're the Renegades coach from here? 2 overs to go.
Oh, minimum, hang on, just for our drinkers out there, do it responsibly, but some always do. Minimum chips has to be 160 from here. Has to be 160. You'd be greedy and you want 170, but somewhere in that range.
Hatcher in now, bowling to Wazim. Oh, he just gave himself some room and hit that one through cover. Just take one. He's done well here, Wazim.
Just Hatcher's final one, so you'd suggest Stan Lake will bowl the last over. 142 with 11 balls left in the Renegades innings that was so promising 4 or 5 overs ago. It has unfortunately been like their season. It's sort of stumbled and spluttered over the last 4 or 5 overs. I need a good finish. Will Sutherland's capable. Hopefully, he and Imad Wazim can get that 30 that I talked about. At worst, they need to be 160 plus.
Here is Hatcher bowling to Sutherland now. Short. Oh, that's hit him where you don't want to be hit. Oh, he's hurt. It's got him in the stomach or just above.
Thank goodness it got him above the spot you don't want to get hit.
Oh, God, they hurt. He has rubbed it. You know what they say, don't rub it, but he had to give it one.
Yeah, that's going to be a fright in the...
Looking at the replay for Rapitune, we'll keep him moving.
He's a fit young man, Sutherland, but if that was me, and Aaron Finch said earlier in the UNE got hit there, right in the roof. The roof above the shed, and that one's got him right there, right in the belly button, I reckon. He'll have a fair bruise to deal with tonight.
That one hurt, so... A dot ball, though, is the result there for the Melbourne Stars.
Suggest he's going into the wicket or at leg stump with this field.
Here's Hatcher in again. Oh, Sutherland going for the ramp. Doesn't get all of it. Gotchi calls for it. He's taken it. Just didn't get a hold of it. And Liam Hatcher takes his 2nd wicket now. And a good one. Will Sutherland gone for 1.
Fallen in a hole, unfortunately. Again, the Gades. 7 for 142. It's not looking great. The only positive, I suppose, batsman crossed him, Imad Wazim on strike. Sutherland tried to innovate, he tried to ramp, but he just didn't get his balance right, and he only managed to scoop it up in the air, and my man in the short sleeves, Gotchi, gets around and takes the catch.
He's moving freely, Gotchi.
No, it's the short sleeves. 7 for 142. I'm actually staggered his old man, Brad Gotch, allows him to get away with this type of behaviour. His old man was a bit of a stickler for the right thing, and Gotchi's, like most wicket keepers, a bit cheeky.
He's just raging against the machine, I reckon, here, Chuck. So, 7 for 142. They, as you said, have fallen in a heap.
Oh, they have.
That wicket there for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. They were going along beautifully.
2 for 87 they were. 2 for 87. They then lost the wicket of Fraser McGurk, and since then, it's just fallen in a heap. So from 2 for 87, they're now 7 for 142.
Oh, Kane Richardson, the new batsman. Imad Wasim on strike. They did cross. Let's see what Hatcher can do here to finish off. Oh, he tucked him up. He just turned that one, tried to anyway, and just landed on the next pitch.
This has been a great response by the Big Red.
Absolutely.
Liam Hatcher we're speaking about, because his first couple were really expensive. He's gone for 36, but just looking, he bowled the power
one over
surge.
where he went for 15 or something.
Yeah, power surge he went for 7. This over he's got 1 dot, wicket dot. So it's a great response, because earlier in the game, the Hatcher went for a dozen off one. I reckon about a 9 off them, going trying to search through my overs. So good comeback. Good response.
Let's see what he can do now. 2 balls to go in the over. Hatcher in. Bowling towards him again. That one down the leg side.
It's a wide
It's a wide ball. It is. Gotcha had to do a bit of work.
It takes so long, Sean Craig, to put his thumbs up. Come on,
He's bowled a couple of those just leg side wides today.
I think when it's the wide, it's his slower ball that doesn't come out right. He's missed a couple of times with the slower ball wide. So he's still got 2 to go in this over.
Certainly does. So the Spice Man out at deep cover. They've got a pretty stacked leg side field. Is Liam Hatcher once again. Into him. Oh, again, wayward down the leg side. Another one.
They hurt.
That's got to hurt after such a good start to the over. It went 1 dot, wicket dot, and then 2 wides, Chuck.
Don't get too funky, Liam Hatcher. All he needs to do here is hit the base of the stumps. He's got a man long on, deep square, deep mid-wicket, deep fine leg. Hit the base of leg stump. He's trying to be a bit too funky, and he's delivered 2 wides. If you can hit the base of leg stump, not much can be done.
2 balls to go in the over. Comes in again. Oh, that was a better ball. It was lofted down the ground.
I only get
one. He got underneath it a bit there, was him. Trying to attack down to long on. And Nick Maddinson mopped it up.
Now, let's see if Liam Hatcher has done his research here. Kane Richardson on strike can hit a clean ball. But I've seen Kane Richardson knocked over bowled so many times from a full Yorker.
Yep.
All right? So if Hatcher bowls it into the wicket, Richardson can swing through it. He needs to run in now and execute base of the stumps Yorker. Richardson will give himself room and he'll try and slap it. That's what Richardson does. I'm looking forward to this ball. Full Yorker, stumps on the floor.
Let's see. Last ball of the over. Hatcher in. No. It was short. He took on the hook shot. It's going to be out. The Spice Man. You better believe it.
Oh, no.
The Spice Man's underneath it again, and he does the shimmy. And Hatcher comes away with his 3rd wicket. First ball duck for Kane Richardson.
Not smart batting, Johnny, that, because we were talking about the full Yorker. He did the opposite. He bashed it into the wicket, but when I looked at the field, I thought, hey, he's got them all set deep on the leg side. He's going to bump him. Richardson, not enough awareness. That's no accountability. He's running off down in the sheds. Oh, he can bat, Kane Richardson. First ball, he just gives his wicket away. Why didn't he just have some awareness and get inside it, just hit it around the corner for 1 or 2? He's gotten the glory shot. He had to hit that. How long's that boundary out there, John? It's got to be nearly 100 metres.
Yeah,
it's
close
massive, isn't it? It's at least 85. It's a massive... Spice Man just sat there and said, thank your mother for the chickens, you know? Out.
Gee. Well, 19 runs scored in the last 3 overs.
This is interesting. Last over. Have a look.
Oh, Glenn Adam Zampa.
Adam Zampa bowled the last.
8 for 145 is the score. Peter Hatzoglou into the attack.
Into the batting,
I should say. The batting attack.
So
Imad Wasim's gotten rid of the helmet as well.
1, 2, 3, 4. Gee whiz, 2 wickets in that over, wasn't it? 2 wickets in that over. Yep. So they're now 8 for 145.
You were saying 150.
Oh, no, 60 for our little drinkers. Minimum chips.
Yeah.
Minimum chips. There we go, another little tipple.
And now
60.
Now he's got to face Adam Zampa for the last over. Imad Wasim. He's gotten rid of the helmet. He's hatless as well. He takes it on. Hit it strong down the ground. He hit it really hard straight. It's going to be mopped up there by Glenn Maxwell, who threw it to Nick Maddinson. Good teamwork there. They come back for 2. He hit that hard.
He did. It was like a traceable. It's straight down the ground. Maxwell's right onto it, well fielded. 2, 147. He's got to somehow find the boundary. They're under par at the moment. Not enough runs.
See if he can clear the fence here. Zampa in again. Looked like a wrong-un. He just got on the back foot and hacked that one down to a wide-ish mid-on. And again, they come back for 2, so runs to be had out there.
2 straight all done.
8-1-49 now.
2 ball will be okay. Get him 12 off the over, but he'd dearly love a boundary, Mad Wazim. Can he clear one? Can he... Biggest boundary mid-wicket, that's where he's looking to go. Zampa, he's got the men to support him out there. Maybe a wrong-un to do him here with a wrong-un.
No wickets tonight, Adam Zampa. Comes in now, tries to get the long off into the game.
Take a run.
He didn't take a run. He hit it down to Glenn Maxwell. That's a risky strategy.
Well,
it was a full ball. He got underneath it.
You know what that's saying, John?
No trust in Peter Hatzeglu.
I don't rate Pete's batting, and I'm more chance to hit a boundary. He needs to deliver one now, Mad Wazim. Keeping the strike, he's got to find a boundary.
Zampa in again. Comes up the wicket. He tries to get it over the fence. He's hit it straight down Glenn Maxwell's throat.
Ouch, ouch.
And they lose their 9th wicket. Imad Wasim gone for 15 off 13 balls. Used his feet, tried to loft it over Glenn Maxwell's head. Instead, he hit it straight down his throat. And Adam Zampa, I should say, gets his first wicket of the night.
It's just disappointing for the Renegades because they worked so hard early. Finch went in the first over. If you've joined us late, a shocking slog across the line from a quality player. Dropped him in the poo-poo early, and then a great partnership by Harper at the top with Sean Marsh. Got them to a really strong position. Really strong position. They were 1 for 79. The platform was set, and to be perfectly honest, after Marsh's dismissal, it has just fallen away. We had a little flourish from Mackenzie Harvey. He was outstanding, getting 29 off 17, but then it's just been, nothing to write home about. And they are under par, 9 for 149.
9 for 149. That wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. If they didn't have faith in Peter Hatzeglu's batting, what are they thinking bringing Noor Ahmed in at 11, 16 years old?
Doesn't say a lot, does it?
No.
The umpires are converging here as to whether the batsman crossed, and the answer is they did. So Hatzeglu will face the last 2 balls.
Adam Zampa, 1 for 23. 2 balls to go in his spell.
Now, they're little things, right? These are little things. The worst thing Hatzeglu can do here is charge down the wicket and get stumped. He's just got to try and squeeze a 1 or a 2, get another 3 or 4 runs here.
Adam Zampa in now to Hatzeglu. He tries to hack him to the leg side.
Good strike.
Got all of it. They might come back for 2, do they? They take it on. This could be a run out gone. Gotchi. It was a good throw in the outfield. Marcus Stoinis.
That's out, and it's silly.
They didn't need to take the second.
It's just been, again, the last over. I reckon that's out. Just seeing it from 100 metres away, I'm saying it's out.
I think he was out by a long way.
So, you know what happens there, Johnny, while we wait for the decision? They actually give up 1 ball.
Yep.
Right now, don't laugh at me. That 1 ball,
crucial.
That could be the difference. That could be the difference. Coaching local cricket where I am, we lost a T20 game last Tuesday night. We got out with 1 ball to spare. We lost on the second last ball. So I say this all the time, the little things are the big things, and that was a lack of awareness. They probably had no faith in Noor Ahmed. Stoinis fielded it, the return comes in. He's in massive trouble. Watch makes the bails out by a metre or 2.
Decision up on the screen.
Third umpire making his decision. The third umpire, catch bizcover.com.au and BizSave on your business insurance.
So they get 1, Johnny. Don't forget they get 1 run.
They do get the 1. So that's 9 all out now for 150.
Yes, I think that's right.
That wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. So from such a strong start, Chuck.
Not bad.
To 150. Sam Harper got him in the game. 63 from 52. Matt Harvey, 29 from 17. And Sean Marsh, 24 from 21. Liam Hatcher in the end with 3 for 29. Zahi Khan, 2 for 23. And Big Billy Stanlake, 2 for 28. But if you look here, you can see that they lost wickets in clumps all the way along.
The coach last game, I reckon, described their performance. Was it... What was the word he used, Shab?
Not shabby.
What was it?
Shabby?
Was it shabby?
I know.
I'm trying to think of the word he used, but my point I'm trying to make here, sorry, I'm stumbling now, is they fell in a heap, basically. They lacked game awareness. They were set for a 180-plus score tonight. 180-plus. They're all out for 150, and they left a ball in the shed. I just don't think it's anywhere near enough. Early wickets will determine and be the key. but they've left 20 or 30 in the shed, the Renegades. They've fallen over in a heap. It's again been indicative of their season. Not enough accountability from the middle to lower order. Webster's dismissal was horrible. Fraser McGurk's a young kid. I'm going to let him some leeway and some slack, but he played a big slog across the line and they just fell in a heap. Apart from Mackenzie Harvey, they offered nothing through the middle to lower order.
So the Melbourne Renegades all out for 150. And the only real bit of respite coming from Sam Harper, who made 63.
79, I'm just looking after the 10th over. They lost 8 for 71 in the last 10. 8 for 71. Yeah. That's probably where the game... That hurts.
So the Melbourne Stars require 151 to win. We'll hear more from Chuck Berry throughout the night. He's here for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with their app. We might take a quick break, Chuck, and come back and talk through what was a reasonable total for the Melbourne Renegades.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Big Bash Nation, all the big hits, all the big wickets here at Live this summer on your home of sport, SEN.
IMAR. We all know they're the tradies' mates when it comes to business insurance. But did you know that IMAR has window cleaners cover too? Insure your window cleaning business with IMAR and receive commercial and industrial cover for 2-storey, 5-storey and no height restrictions. Plus, receive competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost. Just a simple phone call and we'll get you covered too. Call 13-IMAR now. That's 134627.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
The Sounding Board with Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett. It's sport, it's the media, it's talking about the issues that matter.
Tony Abbott chimed in and said he'd, quote unquote, never leaked details of cabinet discussions to News Corp. So there's some funny things here to unpack, don't I?
Never again, Tony.
It could be anything other than I didn't leak. And people would have believed it. Here's the thing about leaking. Half the time people leak, they don't actually realise they're leaking. They don't have the self-identification that they have just said something they shouldn't have said. Can they be trusted? When you bring that many tennis players in who are that answerable to themselves generally and respectfully speaking, a relatively selfish sport.
Absolutely they are.
How do you trust that they will live to the conforms of our community the entire time they're here? Like, it's one thing to put AFL players in a half, it's another thing to put freewheeling, high-rolling tennis players.
For Drinkwise, stay safe, and if you're choosing to drink, please drink wise. The Sounding Board with Hutchie and Damo. Subscribe and listen today wherever you get your podcasts.
Real Adventures with Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Everything fishing, boating and outdoors.
I'm just astonished how many people are still using the wrong burley cages, Pat. You need to get your cages down to the bottom for the whiting. Look at the design of a whiting's face. They're shaped so their mouth turns in underneath their jaw and they feed hard on the bottom. So where are they going to be? They're going to be on the bottom.
Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Subscribe and listen today wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Matt McKeldin. And I'm Steve Johnson. And we're the hosts of The Driver's Seat, Australia's #1 motorsport radio show. Each week we go through all the big news stories and chat to some of the biggest names in supercars.
Here with Mark Winterbottom. We're pumped, ready to go. Davey Reynolds here.
We've got a Sonic the Hedgehog phone cover.
Mad as. Jamie Whincup, welcome back to The Driver's Seat. Feels good to be back.
Plus you can catch up and get all the exclusive interviews first on the Driver's Seat app. Get radio's #1 motorsport show on your smartphone. Thanks to Kubota, Building Australia.
If you love racing, you'll love SEN Track. Start your day with us, Ian Healy and Pat Welsh, and catch up on all the latest in chasing, pacing and racing. Join us on SEN Track Ingham 96.1 FM, Atherton 99.1 FM, and the all-new Gold Coast 1620 AM and Brisbane 1053 AM.
It's the new sound of chasing, pacing and racing.
Join in all the fun on SEN Track.
SEN Track.
Also available on the SEN app.
SEN Track is the new sound of chasing, pacing and racing. And each Saturday, you're invited to join the Saturday Trackside team. Be part of the banter, the fun and the expert analysis. And of course, there's plenty of tasty horse racing tips.
Get your pens, pencils, crayons and have your form guides be ready.
With Simon O'Donnell, David Taggart and the Saturday Trackside team. Listen via the SEN app and follow the tips via Twitter at SEN_track. Saturday Trackside. This Saturday from midday on SEN Track. The new sound of chasing, pacing and racing.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro. And that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
You're listening to Big Bash Nation.
Thatcher in again. Oh, Sutherland going for the ramp. Doesn't get all of it. Gotchi calls for it. He's taken it. Just didn't get a hold of it. And Liam Hatcher takes his second wicket now. And a good one. Will Sutherland gone. Last ball of the over. Hatcher in. It was short. He took on the hook shot. It's going to be out. The Spiceman, you better believe it. Oh, no. The Spiceman's underneath it again, and he does the shimmy. And Hatcher comes away with his third wicket. First ball duck for Kane Richardson. Zampa in again. Comes up the wicket. He tries to get it over the fence. He's hit it straight down Glenn Maxwell's throat. Ouch. And they lose their 9th wicket. Imad Wasim gone for 15 off 13 balls. He tries to hack him to the leg side. Good strike. Got all of it. Might come back for 2, do they? They take it on. This could be a run out gone. Gotchi. It was a good throw in the outfield. Marcus Stoinis. Welcome back to the MCG. John Donohoe, Chuck Berry on the call with you. The Melbourne Stars and the Melbourne Renegades. It's the drinks break for Bundaberg Ginger Beer, the great Australian brew. And Chuck, 151 is the target for the Melbourne Stars to chase down. It was all going so well for the Melbourne Renegades, and it all fell in a heap pretty quick.
Yeah, sadly, indicative of their season. Platform was laid tonight. They had a chance to get a 180-plus score and make it real competitive. Look, if they bowl really well and field really well, they can still win the game. But it's under par. 150 is not going to win many matches. As a stock standard rule, you need 160 to be in a T20, and that's just the number that most teams work to. Above that, you're putting a tick. But they had a chance tonight. As I said, looking back over my score sheet, 1 for 79. What a platform that was laid. Marsh and Harper away. Marsh then gets caught in the deep, 2 for 78, and it fell away dramatically from there, all the way down to all out for 150. They lost 7 wickets for bugger all towards the end of their innings. I don't think we're going to be able to start because there's been fireworks and I can't see the other side of the ground. It's a smoke haze over the MCG. Look, mentioned from Mackenzie Harvey, 9 off 17 balls, putting a tick next to that young man.
Yep.
Fraser McGurk, not so tonight, but stick with him, he'll come good. Harper showed us what he's capable of, but pre-game I was saying maybe Braden Stepien should Stepien in.
I've heard you make that joke before.
A couple of times. I tend to go back to them with my crap jokes. If they don't laugh the first time, they won't laugh the second time.
True.
But the Melbourne Stars now, I'm looking at their lineup. Stoinis, Maxwell, Spiceman,
Nick Maddinson.
They're the 4 that can really damage you. You got Larkin and Cartwright as the steadying influences around. Gotch at 7. They've got power to burn. If they can navigate the Stars through the first sort of 4 to 6 overs without too much damage, I think they'll win pretty easily.
Have you got a play of the day for us for drink-wise? Drink-wise, you won't miss a moment if you drink-wise.
Well, I was going to say that drop catch from Marsh, but it didn't actually have an impact in the end. So, look, I suppose Mackenzie Harvey, I'm getting the 2 youngsters mixed up. I thought when he came in and he hit the first ball from Maxwell for 6, bang. Then he hit the first ball from Hatcher for 6. I thought this kid's making a statement. So I'm going to give him our little drink-wise play of the day for the first innings.
It was a slow start for the Renegades in the sense that Aaron Finch bowled second ball.
Well, you could call that. That was a moment, a Macca's moment, that was one of those other awards we have to give.
It certainly was Macca's moment of the first half. The McRibbanell Macco are back at Macca's this summer. That was
a Macca's moment.
I think it was.
Second ball, you and I were stunned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, He seems to be hit or miss in the Big Bash, Aaron Finch. He's, as I said, one of the leading run scorers in the history of the game in this format.
Yep.
But he just can't get going in this tournament.
He's a wonderful player. He's a very good player. I think, honestly, tired, IPL, lockdowns, hubs.
One day games before the...
Captain of his country. I honestly think, and I'm not making excuses, because if he's putting himself out there as captain of the Renegades, he needs to be better. But I'm not sure that his head is totally in this investment, because he's probably got bigger fish to fry, and he's thinking, you know what? Now, that's only my observation. He would deny that and say, Chuck, you don't know what you're talking about. But the way that he's played, Jono, is, to me, is like... That I said when he got out, that's not a man in good mental state. You know, he just had a wild slog at it. I think one of the texts said before that he might have just had a baby. Well, he hasn't a baby, but his partner has. He's been poor. And a lot of our texts coming through saying, don't criticise their batting. The captain's the one that's leading the way, etc., etc. So a few people calling for the skipper. He needs to now go out and lead with some real conviction, set some good fields. But no doubt the Macca's moment, out second ball, Finch knocked him over, put the Renegades on the back shoe.
Absolutely. And Sam Harper's innings 63 from 52 deliveries, the leading run scorer of the first innings for Henley Holmes, batting for first home buyers since 1989. It was a good innings. He came out, he was attacking, he showed his intent, he used his feet to the spinners, and he reaped the rewards.
His footwork to the spinners, it was as good as I've seen in this Big Bash, to be honest. And he went down the wicket, got him on the half volley, knocked them both along the ground and over the infield as well. So I love his proactiveness with his feet. As I said pre-match, I'm a big fan of his. He's had a disappointing tournament. He's got a 40 and now, what did he get, 62 today? 63?
63.
So that's a promising sign, again, of a talented young player. You know, maybe Stepien needs to come in just as a batsman. I'm still getting Stepien in. I'm not relenting on that. Don't pick him in your squad and not give him a look. Get him in. I don't care who it's for.
And I guess the other thing is when you're leaving him out, he's not playing local cricket. He's not in form. He doesn't have the ability to go back and try and make runs and stay sharp. I mean, he's just sitting there being a net batsman.
Here's a big call, and I'll be shouted down on the text, and I don't care. What I said before about Aaron Finch, maybe the Renegades are going nowhere. Just let Finchy have a rest. Let someone else lead the side and put Stepien in at the top with Sean Marsh. That'd be a nice one to bat with. Now, people think I'm crazy saying that, but the Renegades aren't playing finals, mate. They're cooked. For me now, the only way Klinger can do anything is to invest in his kids. So stay with Sutherland, Fraser McGurk, Mackenzie Harvey. If you're going to stay with Sammy Harper, and you do after tonight's innings, get Stepien in as a batsman. It's either Slug Webster, but disappointing tonight, made 50 last game. Maybe it's Finch. That sounds weird. He got dropped in the IPL for the Bangalore Royal Challengers.
Josh Phillippe came in for him.
They gave him the flick. So it would be a brave move to say, hey, Finchy, you know what? You're actually not performing. Have a rest, mate. Have a rest and let's have a look at this kid Stepien. There's a big call for you.
Absolutely. And the leading wicket taker of the first innings for Henley Holmes, transparent pricing, no spin, was Liam Hatcher, 3 for 29 from his 4 overs. He bounced back well after getting a bit of tap around in the middle overs.
Yeah, the big red was good. I thought his variety tonight was a little better. He still missed a few wides. I was trying to search from my papers how many wides he bowled. My guess would be 4 or 5 wides, and generally, Jono, they were those slower balls. So if he keeps working on his execution, he's got some pace, he's got strong body language. It tells me he wants to be in the contest. Keep working on hitting your Yorker, getting that slower ball execution right.
Very quickly, before we get the first ball bowled, who needs to be switched on for Fujitsu, Australia's favourite air in this second innings?
The Spice Man.
The Spice Man.
Spice needs to switch it on. Stoinis should be on. If the Spice can get him away with some real spice, that'll set them up.
Certainly will. Kane Richardson's got the ball in his hand. Spice Man, marking centre. This could go one of two ways, and I know that's an obvious comment.
Yep, it is, but that's what Spice delivers.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing the look-away 6.
I reckon they're going to bounce him here because the 2 men out are deep fine leg and deep backward square.
All right.
So you would suggest Richardson is going to cramp him with this field. It's an umbrella offside, no slip. And the reason I say it is that this man that's like a third man inside the ring is if the Spice tries to ramp it over. So my reading of this right now, Jono, looking out there, expect a few balls into the ribs of the Spice Man.
Absolutely.
Spice Man will try and take them on to the long boundary. If he doesn't get it, he'll hit it straight down the throat of the deep backward square.
All right, well,
let's see if he's switched on.
Let's see what the Spice has got. 89 not out on Friday against the Strikers. Kane Richardson's in, and he's over the wicket. First ball defended. down to third man. Just push that one, and he comes through for a single. One had a bit of zip about it, I could see from up here.
Yep.
It was quick.
He's let him off strike, unfortunately, there.
Just turn that one to third man. So they're off the mark straight away.
Same field. I think Timmy up the back's just opened his lunchbox for us. Which is always good in the commentary box, Timmy. He's not even. He's gone to get his lunch.
He's gone to get his lunch. Here he is. He's back in.
We've got a deep fine still. So the same field, except a slip's gone into play here for Stoinis. So still the two men out. Deep fine, deep backward square, which suggests bumpers or ankle Yorkers coming with those two men back. One slip. A guy on the ring at sort of gully line. Point, cover and mid off on the offside.
Is Richardson in now to Stoinis. First ball. Driving. Beautiful stroke there through cover. Beats Aaron Finch. They come through for a single. 291 runs on a tournament this year for Marcus Stoinis. He had a couple of slow games, but he's been largely pretty consistent for the Stars.
Oh, it's a class act. Don't worry about that. Stoinis, good to see him back bowling tonight. 151. Is that right? The target? 151. There's a circle under that. And of the first target for that bonus point, which will be interesting actually, 80 is the target after 10 overs.
Spiceman back on strike. Here's Richardson again, short. Oh, he tucked him up. He just had to take his hand off the bat, turned it around the corner. They were able to get through for a single. Geez, that one had a bit of venom to it, didn't it?
It did, but again, is the Spice... said we needed him switch on. Look at the field they've got, Jono. What is that?
Yeah.
If you're a batter out there, where do you reckon they're going to bowl?
Well, short and at his hip.
And it was like it shocked him. Like Spice was sort of forward. He's gone forward to a ball that hit him in the shoulder. That's not switched on.
No.
We asked Spice to be switched on. That's dumb. Not very switched on at all, Spicey.
Yeah. Expert comments from Chuck Berry for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money online with their app. Here's Richardson in again, bowling to Stoinis. Full. Oh, he's beaten the bat there. They go up in appeal. That one looked like it moved off the seam. Marcus Stoinis just hung the bat out there. He has the tendency to do that sometimes, Chuck.
Early on, Stoinis, like most batsmen, he's a bit of a hanger, likes to feel the ball. And
just needs a boundary early on, and then I think he's away.
That was well bowled. It actually shaped away from the right-hander.
Stars none for 3, chasing 151 for victory. If you're just joining us, Sam Harper with 63. They fell away a little bit at the end. Here's Kane Richardson again over the wicket. Marcus Stoinis on strike. That one driven straight down the ground. Beautiful, beats the fielder. And there's the first boundary of the Stars innings. He's away now, Marcus Stoinis. That's a glorious drive, on drive.
That's a lovely cricket shot. Hardest shot in cricket to play is the on drive, and it normally tells you a batsman is on because you got to have really good feet position, great hands, full swing of the blade and full face of the bat presented. That's a magnificent cricket shot by Marcus Stoinis.
It's another boundary for the TAC, catching you before your luck runs out. Here's Richardson again. Stoinis. Oh, that's a bumper. He was forced to his knees, Marcus Stoinis. Jeez, you can see how quick that's zipping through from here, Chuck. That looked like it was a sharp delivery. None for 7. Good start for the Melbourne Stars.
SEN Track is the new sound of chasing, pacing and racing. And each Saturday, you're invited to join the Saturday Trackside team. Be part of the banter, the fun and the expert analysis. And of course, there's plenty of tasty horse racing tips.
Get your pens, pencils, crayons and have your form guides be ready.
With Simon O'Donnell, David Taggart and the Saturday Trackside team. Listen via the SEN app and follow the tips via Twitter at SEN_track. Saturday Trackside, this Saturday from midday on SEN Track. The new sound of chasing, pacing and racing.
Stars none for 7. Glorious on drive from Marcus Stoinis in the last over. Got things going for the Stars, and it's going to be spin straight away here, Chuck. Imad Wasim into the attack to bowl to the Spiceman.
Well, I don't know about spin. Slow left arm in swingers, and we've got Michael Beer in the box next to us who made a living out of this type of left arm straight spinners.
Still doing that for the Melbourne Cricket Club as well.
Is he really?
He is too. Here's Imad Wasim. Just straight on the pads, turned away, but Sam Harper does the work. He's got a sort of, I don't want to say he's this drastic, but a Paul Adams sort of action.
It's a not that
drastic.
But I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yeah, he sort of hunches over on it a bit. Ahmed Bazim. Here he is again, straight ball. Spiceman driving. They can get 2 there if They go quick.
They should.
And they don't.
Lazy running from Stoinis. Sorry, it's a little thing, but there was two there for sure. And maybe Stoinis fancies a little bit of a piece here.
Oh, Webster doing the fielding down there at mid-on. None for 8. Stoinis to 5. And the Spiceman, if you don't know who we're talking about, Andre Fletcher, 3. He's the self-named Spiceman, I believe.
Is that right? I don't even know what it means, to be honest.
When he announced it on Instagram that he was coming to the Melbourne Stars, he said, hey guys, Spiceman here.
Spiceman.
Here's Wazeem in again to Stoinis, driving on the up. No run there. Richardson picks up mid-off.
So he's been effective in this format, especially in the subcontinent. Imad wasn't where the ball doesn't bounce much, and he just bowls these low little skidders, as I said, like Michael Beard, to give you a reference point, that just curl into the right-handers. Doesn't try and spin them much. 6
wickets in the tournament this year so far for Imad Wazeem in again. That one, well bowled. That's shorter length, defended well.
That's his mode of operation, just into the batsman, asking them to take a risk.
Stoinis couldn't do a whole lot with that one. Bowling over the wicket now, the left armour. Just brings that one into Stoinis. On the back foot, driving. Wanted to take a run, didn't. To mid-off again.
Their running hasn't been on. There's a run there because Richardson's back on the circle. They missed a 2 early in the over. So I think Stoinis is thinking boundaries rather than 1s and 2s at the moment. Just got to take all the runs on offer early.
Only 1 off so far. So a good over here from Imad Wazeem. What will he finish with? Comes in, shorter, cutting. Didn't get all of it. Marcus Stoinis, and he just chops it down to Aaron Finch, who runs in and fields. They take a single. None for 9, the Melbourne Stars for 2 overs.
Hi, it's Doug the Tradie. If you're a tradie like me, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer competitive premiums, instant cover and no paperwork. Go online, get an instant quote and pay the premium, or call an expert now on 13IMAR. You'll be covered in a few simple steps and ready to get on with the job. Visit imar.com.au today or call 13IMAR and get a quote, get covered, get working.
Now the trade is made. That's IMAR.
Welcome back to the MCG. None for 9. 2 overs in, the Melbourne Stars chasing 151. John Donahoe's my name. Got Chuck Berry alongside me for Western Union. In comes Kane Richardson once again. That one tucked Stoinis up on his hip. He just had to turn it. Direct hit. Could be close. Oh, the Spiceman just lagging a little bit there. You're right. I think Chuck, he doesn't seem overly switched on early doors of this innings. Sort of meandered down the wicket there.
Little things. Now,
did take a single on that one, so none for 10.
A different tactic here. Just they've taken one out of the offside and put an extra man on the leg side. Still 2 men out, a deep backward square, but they've got a man in front of square now. I'm suggesting Richardson is going to try and hit him in the shoulder again and cramp him.
Here he is. Let's see what he does. He tries to bowl it back a length. They just defend on the offside.
Poor running.
Wanted a run, didn't take it.
They haven't
single there, do you
switched.
think?
No. There's a single there for sure. Have a look how deep. That's the glue, I think it is at the point. He's on the circle. Spiceman dropped it on the pitch next to the one we're playing on. And Stoinis was just resting. They're not on.
No.
At the minute, the Stars, all right, they're just taking it. They'll probably win the game. They're taking it just a little bit too casual for mine. It's like, they only got 150. We'll get these in a canter.
You never know.
Never underestimate the opposition or the game. Take all the runs that are on offer.
Kane Richardson in again over the wicket, bowling to the Spiceman. It was short. Was on his elbow and tried to take off, and he's just dropped his bat. There's no communication. It seems that he's hurt here, Spiceman. That might have got him on the wrist. He's taken his glove off straight away, and he's down on his haunches. Yeah, that one got him. Let's have a look at the Rapid-Tune replay. He tried to take on the hook shot, and it sort of got him on the forearm. He threw his bat. Instead of dropping it, he threw his bat down there.
Yep.
And that one's hurt him. As we said the last over, Kane Richardson bowling with a bit of pace. You're right, though. He hasn't been switched on so far. He's getting medical attention at the moment. He can't grip the bat here. Won't be good for the Spice. None for 10 so far. Melbourne Stars. Marcus Stoinis 7. Andre Fletcher 3. Just waiting. A bit of medical attention being done. They're just bending the fingers and the wrist of the Spiceman. See if he can grip a bat. I guess that's the most important thing, Chuck.
Well, that is the crucial thing. If he can't grip the bat, it'll be retired hurt. He's certainly in a bit of pain. It got him on the forearm of the right hand. So that'll be his bottom hand. And Spice looks to be in a fair bit of pain. So
if you're David Hussey in this situation, you've been saying that he doesn't seem switched on. Are you sending Glenn Maxwell or Nick Larkin in right now and just assess him, take him off, and then bring him back later if he's all right?
Well, it's an interesting tactic. I mean, it'll all depend on what the doc says. The binoculars on. Physio,
taping it up.
He's taping it up just to give it a bit of support.
This usually ends one of two ways. A couple of boundaries get hit, or they're out pretty quickly.
So long as there's no, and I'd suggest there's no break, because the doc would have done the test and you know pretty much if there's a break. But he's not comfortable, the Spice man, when this break in play. But he's shaking it out, which, you know, you're not doing that if you busted your arm. You're going, hey, you're cradling it going, I'm done. So he's got a bad bruise, I would suggest. I'm diagnosed from 200 metres away, but...
Did you ever cop one of those on the arm? I mean, you would have copped a lot on your fingers and the top tips of your fingers. Ever cop one of those on the arm?
I don't remember. I mean, I've got a lot on the fingers keeping. I don't remember too many on the forearm, to be honest. Got in there a couple of times, but didn't do much for me. Someone said a bit for the Spice man. Richardson's bowling with good pace. That's what we are seeing.
He is. None for 10. So we're just had a break in play here. Kane Richardson just striking the Spice man. He's got his helmet back on. He's got his gloves back on. He's shaking his wrist all about. Trying to do the hokey pokey, it looks like. Here he goes again. He's facing up. Kane Richardson in again. This one, no doubt, will be short. It is. Oh, and the Spice man takes on the hook. Only get one, will they? No, they come back. The Spice man looks a bit more switched on. He sprinted back.
Maybe that's jolted him into action,
for a
mate.
second after he took on the hook shot. And they come through for 2. Maybe it did. He's really giving that arm a good workout, though. None for 12 now. Spice to 5. Soinus 7. He's worrying him, though, here, Kane Richardson. Really worrying him.
There'll be plenty more where that came from, because that's where they've got their 2 men set. So, Spice, don't expect too many cover drives. Expect a few more coming up around your shoulder.
See where this one goes. Short again. Oh, he does take it on, and, geez, that one went past him as well. He doesn't look comfortable with that hook shot when Kane Richardson's bowling.
He's not comfortable, and again, I know it's easy sitting up here, but there's no awareness from the Spice man. It's very obvious to anyone who knows cricket where they're going to bowl.
Yep.
Right? And he's actually going forward and, like, out of position, getting cramped. He should be backing across, looking for that short ball. He can get inside the line, either whack it or curl it around the corner. But he's standing on the crease and almost standing up against the pace.
All right, Kane Richardson in now again to the Spice man. That one better hit, but still punted it out to mid-wicket. And they'll only get one through. It was a good throw out there in the deep. Looks like Sean Marsh. No, it was McAharvey. So that's the end of the over. No, 13, Stoinis to 7, Fletcher 6. The Melbourne Stars 13 without loss.
The massive headlines.
Nathan Buckley had a phone conversation with Adam Treloar. The senior group didn't want him around the club anymore.
The huge moments in sport.
He gets away to 20. The Melbourne Stars have won it.
And excitement.
Oh, that's a good-looking kick off the boot. You're kidding me.
Across every town and city, sport is the glue of our local community. Listen anywhere, anytime on the SEN app. The latest news articles, podcasts, live sport and more. Download the SEN app today.
3 overs bowled. None for 13. They're chasing 1-5-1 at the moment.
Well, it's been a steady start by the game, fairness with the ball.
Yep.
So they haven't got out of the blocks. Just looking at the power score, power play overs, 1 for 32 the Renegades were. So at the moment, absolutely in the game. Sutherland to bowl the 4th.
Sutherland in to the Spice man. Let's see what he's got. Spice driving through cover. He likes him, I reckon, half volley length, so he takes the single. I really like what Will Sutherland brings to the table. He hits the deck hard. He's got a bit of competitive edge to him. You would have seen a bit of him, Will Sutherland.
To be honest, I was a few years ago coaching Xavier College in the APS.
Great school.
And Sutherland was captain of Scotch, and he was too big and too strong for in school cricket. He dominated. Captain of the Scotch College successful team. So I did see a bit of him then.
Comes in again, bowling to Stoinis, gives himself some room, cutting through backward point. That's gone for 4. And the fielder had no chance on backward point. It was gone before he knew it. That's another boundary for the TAC, catching you before your luck's all out.
Good shot from Stoinis. Sutherland look, it wasn't such a bad ball, but again, this is the last over the power play. You're only allowed 2 out. The 2 out, Johnny, are still leg side, deep backward square, deep mid-wicket. So that short ball has to be at the body. You can't allow any which because Stoinis will slap you through the offside.
Sutherland in again over the wicket. Shorter. Oh, he's taken that on. See you later. That's 6. Wow. He's hit that into the first row. What a shot by Marcus Stoinis, taking on the hook shot. Big over to start the 4th.
Well, see, the difference between Richardson and Sutherland is probably only 5 kilometres, but that 5 kilometres jams Spiceman, which the man driving the truck asked, who's Spiceman? Andre Fletcher, we're talking about the West Indian. He's been jammed up. Stoinis, aware that they're going to bowl it into the wicket, opened himself up, and he's launched it over mid-wicket. That's a big hit for 6, and that's got the Stars away now.
Big boundary for the TAC there. Here's Sutherland again. How does he respond? 10 off 2 balls. Stoinis taking on the short ball once again. Cramped him up a little bit, so they're only going to get 1 out to mid-wicket. Doing the fielding out there, Sean Marsh.
Brave,
Bo Webster.
Brave from Sutherland because he went there again.
He did.
After getting hit for 6. So, in fairness to the young, I won't call him a kid, young man, he's bowling to his field. He's got the leg side strong field, so he jammed him up, and he's a chance to get Andre Fletcher out if he hits that same line, because Fletcher will take him, and I don't reckon Fletcher's as sharp on the ball as Stoinis.
No, well, we've seen some uncomfortable moments for Andre Fletcher on the short ball tonight, so let's see if Will Sutherland employs the same tactic of bowling short. Here he comes again. He bowls it full. Fletcher gave himself some room. He's gone. Gave himself room outside the leg stump. Didn't get all of it, and he hit it to cover. Jake Fraser-McGurk taking the catch. And Will Sutherland strikes after a bit of tap early in the over. Spiceman, who looked all at sea, Chuck, he's gone.
Yeah, Andre Fletcher, that's been his tournament. Apart from his last game, and Lee, I'm waiting for your text, that's what we've seen too much from Andre Fletcher. You know, a little boundary here and there, and then he departs. He's been terribly underwhelming as the overseas player for the Melbourne Stars. That's a fact. Taking away his last game, where he was a match winner. So 1 out of 11, that ratio ain't good enough for mine, I'm sorry. He departs for 7. The Stars 1 for 25. Sutherland gets the breakthrough.
Andre Fletcher gone for 7 and just never looked comfortable, unfortunately. So they lose their first wicket now, the Melbourne Stars, and Nick Larkin to the crease. What do you know about Nick Larkin? Do you like him as a T20 player, Chuck?
He's a technically correct player. I don't think he's a wonderful T20 player because he's not someone that can walk in and whack it straight away. He did do it one game. I can't remember the game it was.
35, I think.
He did it one game. But he normally is a nice, elegant, technically correct player. Let's see what he's got tonight.
Here's Will Sutherland bowling to him first ball. Driving on the up. It was aerial, but just beat the fielder there, Ahmad Wazim at backward point. Misfield, and they take a single. So Nick Larkin off the mark with his first ball. Successful over for the Melbourne Renegades. The Stars 1 for 26.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Welcome back to the MCG. Will Sutherland with the big breakthrough. Andre Fletcher gone for 7. Marcus Stoinis just settling into his work now. He loves this ground. He's played some good innings here. Now we've got new bowler into the attack, Noor Ahmed. Young bloke, 16 years of age. How much cricket were you playing at 16 in terms of...
Not at this level, but I was, I'm a country boy, but I came to Melbourne at 17 to play at Fitzroy Doncaster. So I was probably playing country cricket as a 16-year-old. This boy's on the big stage. It's amazing.
He certainly showed what he's got. He's bowling now from the punt road end, and he's bowling to Nick Larkin. It's that one full to start with, and he just drives into mid-off. They'll take a single. Score goes to 27. 1 for 27. 5 overs bowled.
So after the power play, the Renegades were 1 for 32. Melbourne Stars 1 for 26. So first blood to the Renegades, but it was their finish that left them in a bit of bother.
So see what Marcus Stoinis can do here. They've got 2 out on the leg side, Chuck, and 1 through extra cover, and then 2 down the ground as well. What a protection.
Slip in place. So it's a sort of in-out field at the minute.
Ahmed in again. Round arm, he just cutting is Stoinis. He beat the fielder, which was Hatzaglu at backward point, and they come through for a single. Didn't get all of that.
He needed a little bit of Hatzaglu on his fingers, I reckon, didn't he? Just slipped through the backward point.
Very good, Chuck. Very good.
Uni spinner.
That's our expert comments from Chuck Berry for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money online with their app. Here's Noor Ahmed again. In. Full ball. Driven. On drive to Bo Webster at long on. So they're just working in singles here. Solid from Ahmed. 1 for 29. Marcus Stoinis to 19. Nick Larkin to 3.
Power play over, so the field is spread. 5 men patrolling the boundary.
See what Marcus Stoinis has got here for him. Comes in on his pad. Tried to hit him to mid-wicket. Couldn't. Just hit him on the pad and doing the fielding there. Oh, this might be an overthrow. No, they weren't paying attention, the batsmen.
Should have been.
Sam Harper just overcooked that one a little bit to Noor Ahmed. Lucky there. No run in the end. So a good over so far. 3 off. See how he can finish it out. Oh, he's beaten him with a wrong, and Sam Harper's confident that he might have lifted his foot, Marcus Stoinis, going up for a stumping appeal. The umpire said no.
Nice bit of work by the wicketkeeper.
Nice.
I think no, but we'll have a look on the third umpire. Did he drag or lift? He
got it back in time. Good piece of work, though.
Well in time. So nice dot ball. Did him beautifully with the wrong in there.
He did. It was a well-executed one, and Marcus Stoinis just trying to drive through cover. Played all the wrong line of it. Let's see what the young fella can do here to this Australian representative that is Marcus Stoinis. Coming in again. Wide outside the off stump.
He's wide.
That is a wide. Too far outside those tram tracks. Sam Harper taking it just on the cut strip there. 1 for 30. Last ball of the Noor Ahmed over. Comes again. Back of a length and just chopped down through cover by Marcus Stoinis. They take a single. So got out of it with 5 off, Chuck, in the end. Not a bad over. 1 for 32, the Melbourne Stars.
Good over.
Real Adventures with Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Everything fishing, boating and outdoors.
I'm just astonished how many people are still using the wrong burley cages, Pat. You need to get your cages down to the bottom for the whiting. Look at the design of a whiting's face. They're shaped so their mouth turns in underneath their jaw and they feed hard on the bottom. So where are they going to be? They're going to be on the bottom.
Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Subscribe and listen today wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the MCG. John Dono, Chuck Berry with you on Big Bash Nation this Sunday night. Game 42. It's the Melbourne Stars and the Melbourne Renegades. Been a good contest.
Well, going slow, the Stars at the moment.
So we've got Hatzaglu now. Melbourne University. Premier cricket. 3rd 11 he was playing, and he was plucked from obscurity. It's a good story.
Fast leggy. He's been good.
Let's see.
Stars behind at the moment.
Absolutely. Hatzaglu in. That's a good length. Straight and on the pads. He just tucks it away for 1, does Marcus Stoinis. So another single, just working in singles at the moment. They're going to have to as well keep them nice and tight, the Renegades, if they do want to win their 3rd game of the year.
I love his energy. You know, he twirls the ball in his preparation, 4 or 5 times, big whiz, and then he sort of comes galloping in and
comes in again. That looked like the wrong one on the pads again. So he's tacking the leg stump line, and once more they turn it out to mid-wicket.
He'll probably prove a liar of me, Johnny. He doesn't bowl many bad balls. He's on the money. They're just sort of skidding at the stumps, And if you're not a lot of bad balls.
If you're Aaron Finch, you'll take singles in this scenario any day of the week. So Marcus Stoinis on strike now. 1 for 33. Goes forward. didn't really have much clue what was going on there, Marcus Stoinis. Inside edge out to mid-wicket.
Because he's so quick through the air, it's a bit Anil Kumble-like. You don't get a lot of opportunity to make a change. Like some leagues loop, bounce, and you can go back and cut. He's onto you pretty quickly, so you've got to read length real quick off this man.
Comes in again. Leg stump line, leading edge there from Nick Larkin. Wasn't all that sure about it. They come through for a single again. So 4 singles to start his first over in this game.
That's why I would have sent Maddinson, left-hander, number 3. Then he's Hatzaglou spinning into Nick Maddinson. Gives you the left and right combo. We've got 2 right-handers and allows him to just skid the ball on the stumps.
Hatzaglou in again. Cutting this time. Bit shorter for Marcus Stoinis. They only take 1, hit it out to sort of a deepish cover. Come through for a single, so...
Last 10, in fact, last 11 scoring shots have been singles.
Wow.
11 singles. There's a wicket in there, and that was wide, but they're all singles.
That was after the Marcus Stoinis 6.
Yep, since then, all singles.
Hatzaglou to complete his over now. Oh, he's cutting. Oh, no, there's a mix-up here. Going down the wicket was Larkin, but he was sent back there by Marcus Stoinis. Finishes off a successful over. 5 off the over, and the Melbourne Stars have got a bit of work to do if they want the bash point. 1 for 36.
IMAR. We all know they're the tradies' mates when it comes to business insurance. But did you know that IMAR has window cleaners covered too? Insure your window cleaning business with IMAR and receive commercial and industrial cover for 2-story, 5-story and no height restrictions. Plus, receive competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost. Just a simple phone call and we'll get you covered too. Call 13-IMAR now. That's 134627.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
36 the Melbourne Stars, and spin is the way again. So we saw this with the Stars. Noor Ahmed continuing. Oh, driving straight down the ground, Marcus Stoinis. That's 4. Picked up the half volley, hit it back over his head with a rate of knots. That's another boundary for the TAC.
Great shot. Straight, there's a long on and long off in place, and they had no chance. Went straight over Noor Ahmed's head and raced to the boundary. So Stoinis, I think he's realised just a little bit off the pace at the moment.
Releases the shackles there. Noor Ahmed in again. This one on the back foot, punching to cover. No run. So that one might just give them a bit more confidence.
First boundary after 11 singles in a row.
1 for 40 now. Marcus Stoinis 27 so far. Coming in, Noor Ahmed. That one on the hip. Again, he just sort of tries to turn it. Imad Wasim waiting for him at wicket. He's picked out the one bloke in that circle on the leg side. Marcus Stoinis. Which is unfortunate. It's Spiceman just getting some running repairs on the Rapid-Tune replay. Here he is. Noor Ahmed in again. Stoinis goes aerial. Hits it wide of mid-on. They don't take a single, although, geez, there's... Oh, direct hit from the deep.
Now they should go.
Very good throw there. Who was that out there? McAharvey. No, Will Sutherland out at mid-off. It was a beautiful throw in. So they only take 1 in the end. 1 for 41. Marcus Stoinis to 28.
Stoinis is, again, the rock, I suppose, in this innings. We've got Maxwell listed next. We know hasn't been in good form, Glenn Maxwell. Got a couple of ducks in a row, but he needs to get amongst them tonight.
39 needed from 20 balls for the bash boost point here, Chuck.
I don't reckon they're getting the bash point. I reckon they're more concerned with the 3 points for the win.
Geez, it'd be a calamity if they lost this one to the Renegades.
With only 150 on the board.
Yep. Here's Noor Ahmed around the wicket now to Nick Larkin driving. That was a beautiful stroke. You could hear the sound through the effects mics and beat the fielder there at cover. They've come through for another single.
He is, again, nice player. He's a stroker of the ball, but he's not a basher. He's not a big basher.
That one looked like a technically correct cover drive there.
Not from what I've seen anyway. As I said, there was one innings where he did do it. It might have been, I can't remember the game, I should do, but he did come out and whack him. Apart from that, every time I've watched him and had a little bit of involvement with him at the Sydney Sixers for 1 year as Greg Shippard's assistant, nice player, technically correct. But sometimes innovate.
Noor Ahmed just Stoinis again. That one outside the off stump, spinning away, trying to drive there, Marcus Stoinis. And no run as the bails were whipped off. The Melbourne Stars 1 for 42 through 7 overs.
Real adventures with Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Everything fishing, boating and outdoors.
I'm just astonished how many people are still using the wrong burley cages, Pat. You need to get your cages down to the bottom for the whiting. Look at the design of a whiting's face. They're shaped so their mouth turns in underneath their jaw and they feed hard on the bottom. So where are they going to be? They're going to be on the bottom.
Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Subscribe and listen today wherever you get your podcasts.
Great to have your company, Big Bash Nation. John Donahoe, my expert for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money online with their app. Is, of course, Chuck Berry.
More spin. So it's played a big role tonight in both innings. Imad Wasim, the Pakistan spinner, is going to bowl his second over.
They are close mates, Glenn Maxwell and Aaron Finch, and I think roommates for a short period of time. So similar tactics. I understand why. Here's Imad Wasim around the wicket again. Cutting is Nick Larkin. Aerially, Aaron Finch could have got that. That might roll away for 4. Ball's going, and it's 1. Gee, it was just punched out to the point boundary. Aaron Finch just let it go past him.
It was in the air for a period of the cut shot. Finch didn't have a crack at it, went past and flew away. So it was actually well timed in the end. It was probably only 2 metres to Finch's right.
Another boundary for the TAC in. Imad Wasim comes again. He's cutting again on the back foot. This time it'll only be 1 through cover. So the Melbourne Stars 146, 34 needed now from 17 deliveries, 33 from 16 I should say, for the Bash boost point. You don't think they're going for it, Chuck?
I'll tell you at the end of this over, see how Stoinis plays. At the moment I'm saying they're more concerned with the 3 points on offer for the match.
Here's Ahmed in again. Imad Wasim, I should say. Hitting that one hard. He's hit it hard to mid-on. Bo Webster did well. Oh no, he's parried it onto the boundary rope. It was a cross-batted drive from Marcus Stoinis with a lot of power behind it. Bo Webster did all he could. He got a hand to it, but it rolled onto the boundary rope. That's another boundary for the TAC.
Well, I know I say this a lot, and I'll get picked up again. The little things are the big things. He got there, and his execution of skill was poor, and he just knocked it over the rope. So, that's a boundary that they didn't need to give away.
Zeman again. Stoinis just, he's hit that into his ankle.
Cramped him up.
There, cramped him up on the leg stump.
Angled right in at leg stump.
Well, he's doing a couple of stretches here. Melbourne Stars 1 for 51. Stoinis is 32. Larkin 11.
3 men out on the leg side. I was going to say boundary, but Mackenzie Harvey's at deep mid-wicket. He's 25 metres off the rope out there at deep mid-wicket.
It is a big boundary. Hit over. Good luck to you.
Stoinis, they're inviting him to try, and I don't mind them being 10 in, but I think he's too far in, because if Stoinis launches, there's too much space behind him.
He did try and launch. Big appeal goes up. Umpire says no. Sam Harper was convinced.
He was convinced.
He was down on one knee, was Marcus Stoinis, trying to hoik that over that boundary where we were talking about of Mackenzie Harvey. If he got onto that, it would have gone.
So they've invited the shot.
Trying to slog sweep.
Stoinis had a big slog sweep at it.
Good catch.
Sam Harper, a lovely catch on the inside of the bat. Whether or not there was wood on it, I don't know. We've only got one replay.
He was convinced.
Last ball of the over. Mid-wicket's a long way in. Is he going to entice him again?
Zeman again. He just forces him to drive through mid-wicket now. Take another single. So the Melbourne Stars, after 8 overs, 1 for 52.
Hi, it's Doug the Tradie. If you're a tradie like me, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer competitive premiums, instant cover and no paperwork. Go online, get an instant quote and pay the premium, or call an expert now on 13IMAR. You'll be covered in a few simple steps and ready to get on with the job. Visit imar.com.au today or call 13IMAR and get a quote, get covered, get working.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
Melbourne Stars 1 for 52 in reply to 150 set by Renegades, so 151 required. So they're under 100 now, Chuck. Peter Hatzer glue back into the attack. He's been swung around.
Impressive, this man. What a story it is. Fast leg spinners skidding on.
Rolling at the punt road end. Comes in now.
Oh!
Stoinis, long. 6. Didn't even look that short. Just used his power. Hit it through cow corner for 6. Excellent stroke play. Another boundary for the TAC. Marcus Stoinis is on tonight.
Wow, that is a powerful strike. You're right, it wasn't such a bad ball. And the incredible Hulk just used his muscle there and muscled it over mid-wicket. Off the bat, I thought, has he got enough of it? He certainly did.
That's a glue in again. Stoinis, this one was genuinely shorter.
Oh, he got
just
away with
under-edged that to... Finally, probably should have been hit for 4.
Stoinis will be spewing with that. That was a half tracker, and he had some space to work with, and he only managed to get a ball.
So was he doing the work?
An inexperienced player would make a mistake this ball and try and overhit. Hopefully, I don't think Stoinis will do that.
That's a blue in again. Stoinis cutting this time, getting a thick edge. That's going to roll away for 4 in front of the members. Luck's a fortune for Marcus Stoinis at the moment. Big over here for the Stars. 1 for 62 now.
Yep. This might be the moving over, Johnny, where they just decide, you know what, we've got wickets in hand. Stoinis looks to have some real intent here.
Thick
Unlucky.
edge.
It was a nick. It would have went straight into first basket. Race to the boundary for 4.
18 needed from 9 deliveries for the Bash boost point. They're closer now, Chuck. In again. Oh, bowled him!
Oh, bowled.
That's not going to help their chances for the Bash boost. Skidded on. Played all around a straight one, Marcus Stoinis, and Peter Hatzeglu gets the big wicket. Marcus Stoinis bowled for 43. 2 for 62, the Stars. Big wicket.
A massive wicket, no doubt about it. Well bowled, young man. Just so impressed with what he's delivering up against one of the premier batsmen in the competition. Pitched the ball in line, skidded it on. Stoinis played it poorly and he's gone. Stars now with a little wobble. In comes their captain, Glenn Maxwell, and this is the key wicket. If Maxwell bats 5 to 7 overs, I think the Stars win. If the Renegades can do Maxwell, and he's gone for a couple of first ball ducks this tournament, the game's on knife edge now. I'd rather be in the Stars camp, but another wicket, it'll twist.
Crucial wicket there after being hit for 10 in the over, Chuck. 6.4 wicket. That's one way to bounce back.
It's an excellent result.
That wicket there for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au.
Just got the feeling, didn't you, that Stoinis was thinking, I've got to go.
Yep.
And he'd gone 6, big swipe, nicked 4, and then he's been clean bowled. Good captaincy this by Finch. He's brought a slip in. Slip in for Maxwell, so he's not... And he's bringing... Oh, no, he brought the mid off, only 5 off the fence. That's a strange position. He's not stopping 4 and not stopping 1.
Striking at 149 this tournament. Let's see what Hatzeglu's got for him. He's cutting there. Oh, nearly another golden duck. He's had 2 of them already in this tournament. That was close to an edge. Trying to cut. Probably too close to cut.
Man behind point. A man on the boundary at backward point.
Rapid replay. Let's have a look at the Stoinis dismissal. Slid on.
He loves his cricket, Hatzeglu. I love him what he's bringing to the table.
Here he is again. Maxwell, second ball, just forced to defend down the line, down to mid-on for 1. Just pushed it down, and that's a good way to end the over. It was a successful over for the Melbourne Renegades. Stars, 2 for 63.
SEN Track is the new sound of chasing, pacing and racing. And each Saturday, you're invited to join the Saturday Trackside team. Be part of the banter, the fun and the expert analysis. And of course, there's tasty horse racing tips.
Get your pens, pencils, crayons, and have your form guides be ready.
With Simon O'Donnell, David Taggart and the Saturday Trackside team. Listen via the SEN app and follow the tips via Twitter at SEN_track. Saturday Trackside. This Saturday from midday on SEN Track. The new sound of chasing, pacing and racing.
Just joining us, Marcus Stoinis, the big wicket, bowled by Peter Hatzeglu in the last over for 43. Melbourne Stars 2 for 63. Bash boost point, 17 needed from this over.
It's not happening.
Unless Glenn Maxwell hits 2 quick sixes.
And I'll be disappointed if Maxwell actually goes for it, to be honest. 3 points far more valuable than 1 right now in their context of their season. So he doesn't need to go for it. Sometimes Maxwell does shock you.
Imad was in bowling again, left arm. Maxwell just let that one go. That's a wide.
Well played.
You take that.
Well, Imad was him. Doesn't want to give Maxwell freedom of swinging the arm, so he speared it. Maxwell stepped inside it and got a wide down the leg side.
Trying to open himself up a bit here, Maxwell. Full ball again. Just left that. Oh, and Sam Harper's let that one go as well. So they're going to get an extra 2 runs there, the wide and a single. So, geez, unfortunate keeping there from from Sam Harper.
He hasn't bowled a ball in this over, and he's gone for 3.
Yeah, and now they need 14 from 6 balls still. So it gets a little bit easier if Maxwell does want to take us some time.
Larkin's on strike.
Oh, yeah.
It's not his go. No. It's not his game to whack it over the fence for 6. I'd love him to. Come on, Nick, show us. Hit one over the fence for 6.
Larkin facing up now towards him. He's on the back foot. He just turns that one inside the field at short, fine leg. Maxwell calls him back. They do come back for a second. Peter Hatzeglu doing the fielding at short, fine leg.
So that's effectively 5 off the first ball of the over.
Those wides can kill you down the leg side.
5 off the first ball of the over.
12 off 5 if they want to get the bash boost point. Is Maxwell on strike now? Larkin on strike now, cutting off middle stump. Oh, he got all of that. That's going to go down to point. They'll take 2. Nice shot there. So they take another 2 now and gets it down to 10 off 4. 270 the Melbourne Stars. Larkin to 15. Maxwell just on 1.
Do you think they're thinking about it?
Well, those first 2 balls probably helped them. 10 now needed.
Ball's important. If they get a boundary here.
Was him. Cutting was Maxwell. That might be the boundary.
He's got it through.
He's got it through for 4. He bowled it too straight and Maxwell just waited on it. Late cut through the 2 fielders at point. And now we're talking bash boost. Oh, that was Larkin. It was Larkin.
Yeah, no, Larkin played it well. Cut shot's one of his shots, and he split the gap. It wasn't a big gap. Well, that has made it interesting. Now, there's still 3 balls left, isn't there?
6 needed from 3.
Wowee.
Oh, God, jeez. You'd be kicking yourself for those first 2 balls. Here's Ebad was him again. Bowling to Nick Larkin, who just turns that one with pads. They'll get 1, maybe 2.
What is Glenn Maxwell
just a single.
Oh. This is intrigue.
Yes. Yep.
They need 5 listeners off 2 balls to get the bonus point. Glenn Maxwell is likely to hit this over mid-wicket for 6 and say, we only need 1. Or have we got sensible Maxi that'll say, don't worry about the 1 point. Place your bets, listeners.
What's him, was him going to toss up to him. Throws it. Oh, Maxwell had a crack at it, but he's hit it too well. He's hit it out to mid-wicket. They'll come through for a single. He was going for it, you were right.
He was going for
He
that
wanted to launch. So now Nick Larkin needs to hit a 4 off this ball for the bash boost point. Obviously, they'll be more interested in the 3 points, Chuck, but it does help. Can he?
Well, I'd love to hear this conversation. Does Maxwell say to Larkin, go for it, let's take the risk. If you get out, I'll win us the game. Or don't worry about the point. Let's see the intrigue of the new rule. What do they do?
Nick Larkin needs 4 for the bash boost point. He goes for it straight down the ground. It's not going to go for 4.
Doesn't get it.
So the Melbourne Renegades get a valuable point. And they take the bash boost point. The Melbourne Stars are 2 for 76. 10 overs gone. Big Bash Nation.
IMAR. We all know they're the tradies mates when it comes to business insurance. But did you know that IMAR has window cleaners covered too? Insure your window cleaning business with IMAR and receive commercial and industrial cover for 2-story, 5-story and no height restrictions. Plus, receive competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost. Just a simple phone call and we'll get you covered too. Call 13-IMAR now. That's 134627.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
10 overs gone, 14 off that last over. They got close, Chuck. They really gave it a good shake.
Got closer than I thought to me. I didn't think they'd even go for it. But you know what changed it? The first 2 balls of the over. Imad Wasim bowled a wide first ball, and then the second ball went for 2 wides. So that was actually no balls bowled in the over and 3 runs. So that teased them a little bit. Larkin hit a cut shot for 4, and then the last 2 balls, Maxwell launched and unfortunately only got it for 1. Then there was a mid-pitch conversation, and we were discussing, will they or won't they? They tried. It's brave. Larkin, unfortunately, didn't get it either, and they only got the single. So they fall 2 runs short, the Melbourne Stars, of the bonus point. So a little tick for the Renegades. Now, the next 10 overs, this is where the Renegades fell apart, Johnny. They lost 8 for 71, was it? We said, I think, back from memory. So if the Stars bat well in the second half, they will win the game. I'll repeat again. That's what I love the Big Bash. 2 overs can change things. If Glenn Maxwell goes whackety-whack, Stars are home. If the Renegades, Will Sutherland's going to bowl, get Maxwell's wicket, that throws the cat amongst the pigeons.
Certainly does. So 2 for 79 the Renegades were. And obviously the Stars finishing their 10 overs, 2 for 77. You think that they've got a little bit more firepower in the sheds to come. Cartwright, Maddinson, Still plenty of batting. Gotch can still hit a long ball for a small man.
Yep. Their tail's long. Hatcher and Zampa are okay. I don't think they're going to win too many games for you. So the two at the wicket, Maddinson and Cartwright, are the ones that will guide the Stars home. That's why a wicket or two for the Gades can really change it.
Sutherland into the attack, bowling to Nick Larkin, full driven. Oh, well fielded. There's a run out on offer. Geez, they were meeting at the middle of the pitch, but Peter Hatzigloo threw to the wrong end. Maxwell was halfway down. He was sent back.
And the end result was a single, was it?
A single, it was.
I love your excitement there, Johnny. You got a little bit sort of tongue-tied deep right there, didn't you? It was magnificent.
I just noticed that they were stuck in the middle of the pitch. Didn't expect a run out to be happening. Happens to the best of us, I think, Chuck.
All the time for me. So that's now Maxwell on strike. Look at that stance. The front leg is wide open.
Sutherland in, bowling to Maxwell. Short ball, hooked. They can get two. Maxwell ran the first one hard. No, just a single out there to mid-wicket. So
just looking at his field here. So only the single luck now on strike. Just for our listeners to paint the picture. Third man, deep point. And then we've got a point in a circle, a cover, and a mid-off. That's the offside. Long-ons on the fence, a little short mid-wicket, and then deep square leg and deep fine leg suggest, again, that Sutherland's going to angle and bowl short. With this field, it looks like he's angling and bowling short.
Past the umpire, he does bowl short, cutting Maxwell with the utmost power. That is a great shot through backward point. Gave him a bit of width.
Too much width.
Too much width.
He's got just the men out here on the leg side, Johnny, sorry, and he's bowled it into the wicket as we anticipated. However, provided width on the offside, and the gap between third man and deep point was big.
It's Nick Larkin again.
Well, that's Larkin's shot. He loves the cut shot. He's a real cutter of the ball.
Just timed it beautifully, didn't he? Full flourish. Here's Sutherland again. What's his response now? Driven straight down the ground. It'll just get one. Didn't get all of that. He looked like he towed a bit of that. Nakahavi doing the fielding. Through for a single, 2 for 84.
I'm just looking at the last 3 overs actually have gone 10, 11 and 14. So the Stars, before Storness, I'm looking at their scorecard. They were a bit slow, 1 for 36 after 6 overs, and then 6, 10, 11, 14. So it's almost like they've decided, hey, let's push now. Let's push into the game. Where will they take the power surge is an interesting question.
Glenn Maxwell back on strike. Sutherland in. He drives straight. It was in the air.
Did he get a finger on that?
He got a fingertip on it, I reckon. The outstretched hand of Will Sutherland. He was a bit unhappy that he didn't catch it. See if we can get a Rapid-Tune replay.
I think he thought it was coming back faster than what it was. It sort of ballooned and just a finger tipper.
It's got the long arms as well.
That would have been
a great catch.
An enormous breakthrough.
So the result's a single.
Clutched onto that one.
2 for 85. Larkin 27. Nick Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell. How am I going? Nick Maxwell played some good games on this ground.
He did.
Glenn Maxwell on 4. Larkin on strike now. Sutherland bowling. He cuts again. Oh, it's 4 more. Don't bowl there to Nick Larkin. Another boundary for TAC. We mentioned it. That's his shot.
That's not good awareness from the young man. Sorry. He's a cutter. He bowled the cut shot. Go to the break.
Stars 2 for 89.
Hey, it's Matt McKeldin.